The following is a presentation of Wareham Gatemen Baseball, brought to you by the Gatemen Baseball Network in conjunction with the Cape Cod Baseball League.
As the summer of 2017 continues, the Wareham Gatemen are right in the middle of the Cape Cod Baseball League playoff race.
Line shot by Anchia. This one is back. It's far. Bye-bye baseball. A two-run homer for Jake Anchia.
Drives this one to deep right field. Heading back is Pompey. He's at the track, leaps and makes the play. What a play by Tristan Pompey.
Call strike three in the inside part. Griffin Roberts
swings and drives this one deep to left field. That one is into the trees.
With stellar pitching and timely hitting, the Gatemen have taken the West Division by storm.
The 0-2 from Fioli, called strike three.
Throwing back to first base McIver, and the tag is in time from Sable.
Sends it to right field. Going back is the right fielder. That one's gone. Tanner Dodson.
And now, the push for Wareham's 8th league championship heats up.
Duran swings and hits this one through the gap. Rounding third and heading for home is John Topa. The throw to the plate is not in time, and Topa will score.
A breaking ball called strike three. Dalton Roach strikes out the side.
1-2. Swung on and missed. Back-to-back strikeouts for Brett Canine.
Lines it right back up the middle for a base hit. On the first pitch, Baird rounds third. He's going to come home and score.
Metz sends it down the right field line. It's in for a base hit. Rounding third. Coming home is Duran. He will score. And the Wareham Gatemen are now winners of 5 in a row. The Gatemen walk it off at Spillane Field. How do you like that?
It's Wareham Gatemen Baseball, and it's live on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
A perfect day for baseball here at Lowell Park in Cotuit, Massachusetts. Sunny and 73. The Wareham Gatemen hope that this nice weather brings some good luck as they try to snap a 3-game losing streak tonight versus the third-place Cotuit Kettleers. Jacob Toby alongside Sam Corman, Claudia Chikamian, and Matt Feld on hand as well. We will send you to Gatemen Pregame Live presented by South Coast Health with our Connor Federico in just a moment. And Sam, this pitching staff right now for the Gatemen, the strength of this team is having some issues.
Yeah, we're losing some guys. I mean, bound to happen towards the end of the Gatemen season, but the loss of Griffin Roberts after yesterday's game, it's going to take its toll on the pitching staff for certain. We lost Joey Matulovic earlier in the season as well. 2 of the Gatemen aces on this pitching staff all of a sudden gone. You have to learn how to, fill in those holes if you're Jim Lawler. You have a good, guy in Noah Zavalis going out on the mound today that could be a really good replacement for one of those starters. Not a replacement, of course. You can't replace Griffin Roberts, but he'll be a solid guy to fill in one of those starting positions. And then you're going to need someone, outside, maybe, one of the bullpen guys to step up and to take some starting or take a starting role. Maybe it's Aaron Hernandez moving in to the starting role for the Gatemen down the stretch. Maybe, a guy like Jordan Britton will try for a spot in the starting rotation. You never really know because, Jordan Britton's a guy really young, still trying to figure out where he fits in on the Oregon State pitching staff as well as in his summer collegiate league ball here on the Cape. So there's a lot of questions for this kind of, shrinking pitching staff down the stretch here, but you still have some constants. You have Justin Montgomery, you have Mason Fioli, you have Tanner Dodson, who's been really good out of the bullpen. And, of course, you have your back end with Dalton Roach and Brett Canine down the stretch. So that's very important for sure.
2 more errors last night for the Gatemen. The defense is really struggling right now as well.
Yeah, I mean, all of a sudden the Gatemen on a 5-game winning streak. No errors in that stretch, I believe. And then they go on a 3-game losing streak, and, it's because of the defense. 12 errors through 3 games. That's an average of 4 a game, and I feel like it has been 4 per game against YD and yesterday against Hyannis. Just a lot of bad plays around the infield. It's not just the errors though. It's when they have opportunities to turn double plays, they're not getting it done, and that's extending innings. It's pass balls, it's wild pitches that are allowing runners to advance all over the field, and that's not a recipe for success. It turns out that errors, the last time, I've mentioned this many times, the last time in a Gatemen game that the team with more errors has won the game was back on July 9th at Wareham against the YD Red Sox. and that was a game where YD won, in which they had more errors than the Gatemen. The Gatemen had 0 in that game, but they still lost. So if the Gatemen can limit their defensive mistakes, they've been in good shape all season. I think they can continue that if the defense sharpens up.
Last time the Gatemen were here, they won a very, very close ball game, 1-0. That was the game in which we saw Justin Hooper and Griffin Roberts battle it out. The atmosphere here was playoff-like, as we had crowd just cheering on and on. How important is it to win a game like that in someone else's ballpark, with that kind of atmosphere?
Well, certainly important. I mean, the last game in Cotuit, of course, very important in this season. I mean, it was a great game, one of the best we've seen all season. Griffin Roberts, Justin Hooper going at it. And now back in Cotuit, same atmosphere here at Lowell Park. As usual, a great fan base. You can see the dugout right now on the Cotuit side is just packed with fans. And, I mean, this Cotuit team... They're battling Cotuit for, key points in this division race. And right now, these top 4 teams in the division, Bourne, Falmouth, Cotuit, Wareham, and now Hyannis starting to creep back into the picture. It's all very close with 9 games to go in the season.
All right, now we'll send it over to Connor Federico for Gatemen Pregame Live, presented by South Coast Health. Connor?
Thank you very much, Jacob. Just like the guys told you, 5 o'clock start for today's game on the road for the Wareham Gatemen at the Cotuit Kettleers. Cotuit, they sit in 3rd place in the West Division at 17-17-1. The Gatemen 16-18-1, and that 18 was just handed to the Gatemen last night against the last place team in the West, the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. Our Sam Corman will take us through that contest.
The final season meeting between these two West Division rivals. It's the Wareham Gatemen and the Hyannis Harbor Hawks here on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
The Gatemen came into this game with a record of 6-4 in their last 10. Hyannis, on the other hand, a record of 2-7-1. You'd figure that would favor the Gatemen, but they came into the beginning of the game pretty flat.
The 1-2. Line back up the middle for a base hit. It's a slow one, and it's going to roll to Quan. Here comes Ford Proctor. Here's the throw. MacGyver can't make the play. It was a close play at home, but MacGyver just turned before he had the ball. And because of that, Ford Proctor comes across the score. It's 1-0 Hyannis on a RBI single from Reese Hampton.
Tough 3rd inning for the Gatemen and Griffin Roberts. At least that was the top of the 3rd. The Gatemen gave up 1 earned run, but struck back with the bases loaded and 2 outs in the bottom of the frame.
This one lined into right field for a base hit. Scoring easily, Tanner Dodson. Kasser follows him up as the base stealing was on. Pompey is going to advance to second, and the throw is cut off there. It's a 2 RBI single for Tristan Pompey, and the Gatemen jump over the Harbor Hawks. It's a 2-1 lead.
Unfortunately for Wareham, they would lose Tristan Pompey for the rest of that game after he slid into second, trying to take an extra base successfully. In the bottom half of the 4th, moving forward, the Gatemen put up another run.
Sable, this one's chopped. Shallow infield. They're going to go to first for the smart play. Sable is going to score. It's an RBI ground out for Stephen Kwan. I feel like we've been saying that a lot.
Sam's right. We here at the Gatemen Baseball Network have been saying that quite a lot. Stephen Kwan usually gets the job done when there's a runner on 3rd base. And now moving forward, the Gatemen, they got their runs in the 3rd and 4th, but the wheels, they started to come off in the 5th, and Hyannis took advantage.
And it's grounded right to the second baseman. Slow roller off the glove of Metz. He can't handle it. In the run from 3rd, Brendan Donovan will come home and score. It's a 3-2 game on an error from Robbie Metz. Here's the 0-2. Sent into center field to Kwan. He's on the run and he makes the catch. Tagging from 3rd and cut off by Sable. The throw comes in late. So Ford Proctor scores on a sac fly from Reese Hampton. Blake Sable cut off the throw from Stephen Kwan. He might have been better served letting that one roll into MacGyver. Pitch from Wolfram. Broken bat, liner down the right field line. Fair ball past the diving Sable and into right field. Coming around 3rd to score is Chris Proctor on to second. Safe at second on a close play. is Hunter Stovall, but it's an RBI double for him, and the Harbor Hawks take a 4-3 lead.
2 errors in the top of the 5th inning for the Wareham Gatemen defense. Grant Wolfram comes on to replace Griffin Roberts, gives up 3 runs, but none of them were earned. And you have to imagine, after that, the Gatemen position players were pretty upset with themselves, and they got the offense rolling once again in the bottom of the 6th.
240 in 25 at-bats with runners in scoring position. Here's the 1-2, grounded to the second baseman. It gets past the second baseman, Ford Proctor, and into right field. Blake Sable comes across to score. It's 4-4, a tie game on a single from Robbie Metz.
From that point on, like Sam just said, the game was tied. The Gatemen gave themselves a chance, but in the latter innings, the pitching gave it away.
Runner goes, the pitch is lined into left field for a base hit. The runner scores, that's Chris Proctor, and it's 5-4 Hyannis, 7 walks. This one nubbed back up the middle over the head of the second baseman, Robbie Metz, and into center field. Coming around to score easily is Daniel Robinson. Following him up is Cesar Trejo. It's a 2 RBI single for Chris Proctor, the 9-hitter.
After that, the Gatemen fell in a 7-4 hole, pretty much unsurmountable. Even though in the bottom of the 9th, the Gatemen had the tying runner at the plate, they just couldn't get the job done.
Here's the pitch from Sandlin. Swing and a miss. Jaron Duran strikes out swinging, and that'll do it. The Gatemen fall 7-4 to the Hyannis Harbor Hawks in a 4-hour marathon.
That game started at 6:30, went just before 10:30 p.m. on the East Coast. Man, quite the marathon, as Sam Corman just told you. We're pretty sure we're not going to see that tonight here at Lowell Park in Cotuit. There are no lights, so this game will be timed out due to darkness whenever the sun goes down. But for more on yesterday's contest, our Claudia Chakamian talked with one of the stars from last night's game.
Thanks, Connor. I'm joined alongside Blake Sable. So, Blake, first of all, you had a good night at the plate last night, a walk, a triple, 2 runs scored. What was working for you so well at the plate?
I think I just wasn't putting so much pressure on myself. I was just letting the game come to me. I wasn't swinging at pitches off the plate and was just like trying to handle the pitches that were on over the plate.
And is that something that you've really been working on since you've been here and you've seen a big improvement on during your time here on the Cape?
Yeah, I think definitely my plate discipline has gone a little bit better and stuff. And then also, like, it's been, because the baseball out here, it's probably the toughest baseball I've played in my life. And especially being one of the youngest guys out here, it's been a humbling experience. And it's also been nice talking with the other guys and, like, what's working for them. And a lot of them, it was just, like, having confidence up there at the plate and just relaxing yourself and just remembering that it's a game and it's all about having fun.
Yeah, so like you just mentioned, it's all just one game. Last night was a tough game for you guys. So what is the mindset now trying to move on from a tough night?
I think you just move forward to the next day. You don't think about the past, and now we have, 9 more games left to win, and we're planning on winning the rest of the games. So, yeah, we're just trying to move on.
What's the main thing you guys want to see different in tonight's game after a few tough days in the past few days?
I think we just want to try and get out ahead early and then try and play some solid defense. I mean, Coach always talks about the 3 different parts of the game, offense, defense, and pitching, and obviously we just want to win in all 3 because if we win in all 3, we're definitely winning the game.
And like you mentioned, about 9 games are left for you guys for the season. So is this game important for you guys, or would you say all these games are important, or what?
Coach Netten's told all of us and, like, instilled in us, like, each day, like, today is the most important game of the season, and then when we get to tomorrow, that's the most important game of the season. That's kind of our mindset going into every game.
Great, thanks, Blake.
Yeah.
Back to you guys.
Thank you very much, Claudia. A beautiful day here at Cotuit's Lowell Park, and we are live on the scene, 4:44 p.m. right now here on the East Coast. The game will start at 5 o'clock. Quick trip around the Cape. No games have started yet, but we will preview tonight's game. The Wild Wild West continues to get even closer and closer. The Bourne Braves, 18-17 on the season, are in first place in the West. Their pitcher, Andrew Crane, with an 0-2 record, will take on Logan Gilbert, a 1-1 record for the first place team in the whole league, the Orleans Firebirds. That should be a fun one. 6 o'clock at Doran Park. 5 o'clock start, Chatham Anglers and Brewster Whitecaps. We're waiting on the start of that one. 2 Eastern teams. Won't affect the Gatemen very much. Another East battle. The Harwich Mariners on a 9-game losing streak haven't won since they beat the Gatemen just a couple about a week and a half ago. They will play the Yarmouth Dennis Red Sox tonight, who are on a tear. YD on a 9-game win streak. So maybe both those streaks can extend to 10 after tonight. And in Falmouth, the Hyannis Harbor Hawks' Michael Brettel will be the pitcher for them, 3-2 on the season. He'll face Falmouth's Matt Mercer, who is 3-1 on the season. All these games getting important as we come down the stretch. We'll take a quick break on Gatemen Pregame Live, presented by South Coast Health.
When you're sick or injured, you want care when and where it's convenient for you. South Coast Health Urgent Care has 4 locations: Fairhaven, Wareham, and now in Seekonk and Dartmouth. You can view wait times and even check in online at southcoast.org/urgent-care. Choose the time and location that's best for you. We'll even remind you when it's time to come in, and walk-ins are always welcome. Urgent care that exists to meet your needs. More than you expected? That's more than medicine. Check in at southcoast.org/urgent-care.
Registration is now open for the 2017 Wareham Gatemen Youth Clinics. The instruction clinics are open to boys and girls between ages 4 and 15. The clinics are a great opportunity to meet and learn from some of the best collegiate players in the country. Clinics are held Monday through Friday, depending on the player's off day. For more information and to sign up your young ball player, visit www.gatemen.org. Registration is now open for the 2017 Wareham Gatemen High School Clinics. These programs are run by the Gatemen coaching staff with a focus on exposing high school area players to the college game. To sign up for either the hitting, pitching, or catching camps, visit www.gatemen.org for more information.
Welcome back to Gatemen Pregame Live, presented by South Coast Health. I'm your host today, Connor Federico. We'll get you back out shortly to Jacob Toby and Sam Corman in just a bit. But first, tonight's pitching matchup, and for the visiting Gatemen, it's number 52, the Harvard Crimson product. It's Noah Zavalis. 0-0 record, but don't overlook his .42 ERA. This will be his 8th appearance of the season, his 2nd start. Has 1 appearance against Cotuit. That was back on July 3rd, a 2-0 loss at home for the Gatemen. Zavalis went 3 relief innings, only gave up 1 earned run on 3 hits, and that is the only run Zavalis has given up this season. Again, a .42 ERA, 24 strikeouts in 21 innings for Noah Zavalis. He's been fantastic in his 2nd season for the Gatemen. And speaking of 2nd seasons, today's pitcher for Cotuit, Jason Billis, is a returner. He had a 5.52 ERA, a 1-2 record back in 2016. This summer, not much better, a 5.32 ERA, an 0-1 record, and 29 strikeouts over 25 1/3 innings. Another strikeout guy you should be paying attention to tonight. Has not faced the Gatemen yet this season. So for more on this matchup, we'll send it back to our Claudia Chakamian, who's with head coach Don Sneddon.
Thank you, Connor. I'm joined by Gatemen head coach Don Sneddon. So, Coach, when we talked last night, you said you just wanted the team to play cleaner and smarter. So what's the biggest thing you want to see improved on in today's game?
Well, hopefully we just play our game, which means that we get good pitching, we get some timely hits, and our defense doesn't let us down like it did last night. This league's too good just to give them too many opportunities, and those extra opportunities killed us last night.
Now we see a bit of a lineup change in today's game. We see Duran batting cleanup and Angelique Dean Fosnot getting starting role. We haven't seen them get much of that this season. So do you think a bit of a lineup change is going to be good for this team?
No, I don't, because you're missing 2 of your better hitters. Not that they can't play the team, the guys that are in, but when you have to take Tanner out of the lineup and you go through that, and Pompey out of the lineup, that's not a good thing. And hopefully they're back in the lineup soon with that. But it gives an opportunity to other guys to step up, and hopefully they respond to that.
What do you think the status is of Pompey after that kind of injury last night? Do you think everything's going to look good for him, or do you not know yet?
Don't know. He's at the doctor at 4 o'clock today, and they'll take an initial thing. The best scenario, I think, is that he'd still be able to hit and probably not throw where he could DH. That would be the best scenario.
Now, Noah Zavalis is headed to the mound today to start for the Gatemen. He had a very good start his last time when we were at Spillane Field the other day, and then Taryn Dawson coming out of the bullpen. So are you really relying on those 2 guys to pitch really well tonight?
Well, Dawson's not throwing tonight, but Zavalis is. And Zavalis, you know, it's an all left-hand hitting lineup. That's except for the bottom 2 guys. So that'll be a challenge for him getting his change up and being able to miss away with that fastball.
Great. Thanks, Coach.
Okay.
Speaking of those starting lineups that Claudia and Coach Sneddon just talked about, let's go through them right now, starting with the visiting Wareham Gatemen. Batting first, number 51 in center field from Oregon State, Stephen Kwan. And batting second from Oregon, number 13, and playing third base, it's Kyle Kasser. Batting third from Washington, today's DH, number 17, Willie McIver. In the cleanup spot, a speedster, Jaron Duran. He'll play second base. He's from Long Beach State. Batting fifth from Nova Southeastern, number 16, Jake Anchia. He will do the catching behind the plate tonight for Noah Zavalis. And batting sixth, John Topa. He wears number 14. He'll play left field today. He is from the Yukon Huskies. And from Southern California, USC, number 4, playing first base in the lineup again, Blake Sable. Nate Fosnot, he will play shortstop tonight, batting 8th. He wears number 11 from George Washington. And in right field from Bryant, number 8, Nick Angelini, rounds out the batting order for the Wareham Gatemen. Moving over to the Cotuit Cavaliers, Griffin Conine, wearing number 9, from playing right field, and he is from Duke. Grayson Genista will bat second today from Wichita State, wears number 31, and will play center field. Terran Vavra bats third. He wears number 6, will play second base from University of Minnesota. Another Big Tenor, Miles Lewis from the University of Michigan, wears number 10 and plays left field. Michael Tolia, number 17, will play first base, and he is from UCLA. From Ole Miss, number 6, Thomas Dillard, he wears 16, and he will be tonight's DH. And Luke Alexander, Chandler Avant, and Ivan Gonzalez round out the rest of this Cotuit lineup. And now we will go through social media real quick. Make sure to follow the Gatemen on social media at all times, 24/7, at Wareham Gatemen on Twitter, YouTube, SoundCloud, Facebook, and Instagram. And don't forget to email the press box anytime by emailing pressbox@gatemen.org. And speaking of one of the members from that press box, we will welcome in our Matt Feld.
Hello.
Hello, Matt. So the guys at the beginning of the show, they talked a bit about the pitching staff for the Gatemen. It's losing some of its most valuable players so far this summer. What can you tell us about Griffin Roberts going home?
Well, Griffin Roberts did go home this morning. He was dealing with a bit of a back issue in Saturn Lake. Pitching coach Jim Law, the things that might have stemmed from lifting weights, but Roberts had also was on the verge of 40 appearances combined between college and up this summer, and I think he was just a point where he had kind of overexerted himself, and so his coach called him home, as you often see out here on the Cape League. So sure enough, he went home this morning and had a great season for the Gatemen, over 35 innings of work. And of course, the Gatemen will miss him out of that ace spot. They were counting on him going the rest of the way into the postseason as kind of their ace starter. But out here on the Cape League, you just don't know when kids are going to run out of gas, and it looked like Roberts kind of just did that yesterday.
And we're not sure about the status of Tristan Pompey right now. Nick Angelini's in the lineup tonight.
Yeah, and Tristan Pompey, who hurt himself sliding into second base yesterday, trying to stretch a single into a double. Of course, he had a shoulder injury coming up here on the Cape, causing him to DH when he first started up here in the Gatemen lineup. So it's going to be interesting to see how he plays it the rest of the way. Even if he is healthy enough to swing a bat, I'd be very surprised if he's in the outfield at all the rest of the way. He'd probably stay primarily in the DH spot, giving Angelini, Tanner Dodson, Stephen Kwan, John Topa the ability to rotate out through the outfield, but definitely something the Gatemen are going to keep an eye on when they already have limited power throughout their lineup.
Matt Feld, we thank you for your contributions to this team, and we're getting just about ready for first pitch, 4:53 on the East Coast. We'll be right back on the Gatemen Pregame Live, presented by South Coast Health.
When you're sick or injured, you want care when and where it's convenient for you. South Coast Health Urgent Care has 4 locations: Fairhaven, Wareham, and now in Seekonk and Dartmouth. You can view wait times and even check in online at southcoast.org/urgentcare. Choose the time and location that's best for you. We'll even remind you when it's time to come in, and walk-ins are always welcome.
It's game time, folks, and to take you through all the action tonight, Jacob Toby and Sam Corman. Boys, what a night for baseball.
Thank you very much, Mr. Connor Federico. Welcome out to Lowell Park in Cotuit, Massachusetts. The Wareham Gatemen, sitting at 16-18-1, will take on the Cotuit Kettleers 17-17-1. Jacob Toby along with Sam Corman, Connor Federico on the Gatemen Pregame Live. Claudia Chikamian, our sideline reporter, and Maddie Feld, our beat writer, on hand, as well as our producers Nick Veronesi and Matt Weaselthair. Wareham Gatemen coming to Lowell Park for another good one tonight, as it should be a Western Division showdown.
Yeah, these games against Cotuit have all been very competitive, with the exception of one 11-0 victory for the Gatemen here at Lowell Park. But both games in Wareham so far, in the other game in Cotuit, a 1-0 pitcher's duel, they were both very competitive games, and it's all been really fun here at Lowell Park. I mean, that Griffin Roberts Justin Hooper duel last time we were here was probably one of the 2 or 3 best games we've seen this season out of the Gatemen, and they're looking for a big win right now, because 5 straight wins, they were feeling good. You know, all of a sudden 2 games against a red-hot YD squad, and then you lose at home to the worst team in the West Division by record, the Hyannis Harbor Hawks, and all of a sudden you're back on the verge of exiting the playoff picture. So this is a big game for the Gatemen, as well as the future. Of course, there's only 9 games left in the season starting today.
Wareham coming off the 7-4 loss versus Hyannis. Cotuit coming off a 9-0 shutout loss at Brewster. That was the 3rd time Cotuit has been shut out this season. Let's go through the starting lineups first for the Wareham Gatemen. It will be Stephen Kwan in center field. He bats first. Kyle Kasser at third today. He bats second. Willem McIver is the DH, not playing the field today, batting third. Jaron Duran in the cleanup spot, batting fourth at second base. Jake Anchia doing the catching, batting fifth. John Topa in left field, batting sixth. Blake Sable at first base. Nate Fosnot, the shortstop, batting eighth. Nick Angelini in right field will bat ninth. And now for the defense for the Cotuit Kettleers, Luke Alexander at third. Chandler Avant at shortstop. Taryn Vavra at second, Michael Tolia at first. Left to right in the outfield, Miles Lewis, Grayson Genista, Griffin Conine, Ivan Gonzalez doing the catching for Jason Billis.
Jason Billis, I mean, out of Coastal Carolina, they won the national championship back in 2016, and this guy can bring the heat. I mean, you'll see the radar going out there on the scoreboard. You might see that fastball touching 97 miles per hour today, potentially, out of Billis. He also brings 2 mid-80s off-speed pitches, a changeup, and a slider. But that fastball can really just blow by hitters, and that's what his specialty is, just bringing the heat here for Cotuit.
Umpires for this evening's ball game. Jeff January is the home plate umpire. Edward McCavin is at first base. Stephen Durant is the umpire at second and third. Just getting ready for baseball here at Lowell Park. Jacob Toby alongside Sam Corman.
Well, one thing on the umpires, Jeff January is in for a long night if it's anything like yesterday's game, in which Rick Del Vecchio behind home plate took a beating. I mean, multiple foul balls, catching him in some bad spots, one in the arm, one in the hip. So we hope Jeff January experiences better luck than Rick Del Vecchio did yesterday, catching foul balls behind the plate.
The uniforms for both teams, Wareham in their road blues with red numbers, the red W on the left chest, gray pants. Cotuit in their home whites with the pinstripe white pants. We're going to call it black colored letters and socks, or maroon?
Maroon.
Maroon.
Or it's maroon, and it's not black, it's blue. I'm confirmed that with one of the Cotuit fans. It's blue as the trim.
Stephen Kwan gets set to take on Jason Billis, and the first pitch of the ball game is outside on a fastball, ball 1. We are underway at Lowell Park. Kwan this season coming in .311, no home runs and 13 RBIs. Billis, the righty, delivers the second pitch at the at-bat. A little check swing from Kwan. It is taken for strike 1.
That fastball clocking in at 93 for Billis, and that's about his average. I mean, you might see him reaching 95, maybe even 96 or 97 today.
1-1 pitch is swung on and missed. Off speed. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Well, that was one of those 2 off-speed pitches from Billis. That looks like the changeup. You'll also see a slider coming in from the outside part of the plate on lefty hitters, but that was the changeup.
Kwan batting from the left side. Here comes the 1-2. Sends it on a line to center field. It'll fall right in front of Genesta and in for a leadoff single. Stephen Kwan getting the job done early.
Good piece of hitting by Kwan. That pitch was down in the zone, and he kind of just rakes it upward over the head of the second baseman, Taryn Vavra. And Kwan, another good piece of hitting for him. Had a bit of an off night yesterday, although he did have an RBI ground out. But that's what you want to do. That's why he's a leadoff guy, because he knows how to get base hits more consistently than most of the guys in this lineup.
Kyle Kasser will bat second today. He steps in. He's playing third base. Kwan at first, and a big swing and miss from Kyle Kasser. Kasser on the season, 286, no home runs, and 8 RBIs. Check over on Kwan at first. He dives back safely, nothing doing. Billis 6'2", 180 pounds, out of Coastal Carolina, throws from the right side. Out of Wilmington, Delaware, his hometown. Here comes the 0-1. It is taken high outside. 1 ball and 1 strike to Kyle Kasser. No score, top of the first at Lowell Park between the Wareham Gatemen and the Cotuit Cavaliers. Thank you for joining us here on this beautiful Wednesday evening at Lowell Park. The check Kwan. Now Kwan gets caught in the pickle, in the rundown. Kwan still in the middle. He's trying to hustle back to first, and he will get tagged out. Not a good play from Stephen Kwan. Chandler Avant, the shortstop, tags him out on the base paths.
And, I mean, that's the second consecutive game where Stephen Kwan's been picked off, and, you know, both of them haven't even been close. It's just been Kwan kind of lurking off first base on a regular lead, but then he's not really, you know, paying full attention to Jason Billis. Yesterday it was Kevin Coulter, and he got picked off in that game as well. Both times he got leadoff hits in the first inning. Both times gets picked off.
Kasser takes ball 2 outside on a slider that misses. 2 balls and 1 strike.
We mentioned the defense, the defensive woes for the Gatemen. In the past week or two, base running has been disastrous. I mean, lots of guys getting picked off between the bases. We've seen it happen to McIver before.
2-1 pitch from Billis is low. Now 3 balls and 1 strike.
And base running should be, you know, it's something that you can control most of the time, and you know, it has to be up to par for your team to win games, and right now it's not.
Out of the windup, here comes the 3-1 from Billis, taken outside, ball 4, 5 pitches. Kyle Kasser down to first with a 1-out walk.
And there you go. If Kyle Kasser just walks there and Stephen Kwan's still on first base, I mean, you have runners in first and second with nobody out. Already have a runner in scoring position, but instead a mistake from Stephen Kwan, all of a sudden, you know, 1 out, runner on first, not nearly as good.
Willie McIver stepping in from the right side. 298 on the season, 2 home runs, 15 runs batted in. Gets the nod at the DH spot today. Checks his swing, kind of goes half around, taking for strike 1. So McIver not catching or playing first and third, just here to bat today at Lowell Park. Top of the first, 1 out, no score between the Gatemen and the Cavaliers. Kasser is the runner at first. The 0-1 is chipped to the fence just in front of us. Foul, no balls and 2 strikes. We are located to the right of home plate, just behind it. Beautiful spot to watch some baseball tonight.
Absolutely. I mean, the Cotuit C behind home plate is fading away a little bit. That's kind of sad. It usually was one of the nicest features of this ballpark.
4th of July C.
I'm kind of sad to see it gone.
Billis' 0-2 pitch is fouled straight back.
And Willie McIver obviously was a guy that started this season red hot. I mean, 2 weeks ago he entered a little bit of a slump, and yesterday a multi-hit game for McIver against Hyannis, 2 for 5, and he's all of a sudden back on track. He'll see if that carries into today.
McIver 7th in the league in hits with 38 coming into today. Here comes Billis' 0-2 pitch, swung on and missed. Billis fools him on an 84-mile-an-hour slider for out number 2.
Well, that's kind of a different way to use that slider than you usually see Griffin Roberts. Usually you see Roberts attacking the inside part of the plate with that slider, working it toward the inside corner, but That's the other way you can use that slider effectively against right-handed batters, is to start it on the outside corner and then work it off the plate, and McIver chases it out of the strike zone because of it.
Jaron Duran batting cleanup tonight. The second baseman for Wareham. He'll face Billis from the left side. He'll take ball 1-0. Duran 275, no home runs and 7 RBIs coming into tonight. 0 for 3 yesterday with 2 walks and a strikeout versus the Harbor Hawks. 1-0 pitch is taking outside, ball 2.
95 on that fastball from Jason Billis. It's heating up. Maybe we'll see it hit 96, 97. Although that radar gun was a little bit hot last time. We did get the report that that was the case last time we were here at Lowell Park. Jaron Duran kind of redefining the cleanup position right now. He's been playing well. He's not a power hitter, but getting some extra at-bats in the cleanup spot.
2-0, taken outside, 3 balls and no strikes. Billis, this is his second stint with the Kettleers back in 2016. He had more walks and strikeouts in his season with Cotuit.
Still maturing, of course, and obviously had a great program down there in Coastal Carolina.
3-0 pitch is outside, ball 4. Second walk of the inning. He sends Duran to first. Kyle Kasser moves to second. 2 runners on, 2 outs, no score. Top of the first at Lowell Park.
I mean, I hate to go back to this and once again just keep on kind of pressing the issue, but Stephen Kwan once again could be on third base right now if he just stuck to, you know, the basics and not, you know, leaning away from the bag too much and kind of paying attention to what was going on the mound. He's now been picked off 2 consecutive games, and right now the Gatemen could have the bases loaded with 1 out. Instead, still a good situation, runner in scoring position with 2 out, but it could be better.
Jake Anchia, 247 is his batting average. 4 home runs, 13 runs batted in. He'll bat from the right side. 2 runners on, 2 outs, and no score. He will take strike 1 over the heart of the plate on a 94-mile-an-hour fastball. Cotuit coming into this game today, 35 points in the Western Division, good for 3rd place. Wareham 2 points behind the Kettleers, 4th place. 0-1 pitch to Anchia, taking for strike 2.
And we'll be getting updates from around the league with Connor Federico later today. And a big game going on at Gov Fuller Field at Arnie Allen Diamond. Falmouth taking on Hyannis. The Harbor Hawks trying to sneak their way back into the playoff picture.
No balls and 2 strikes. Here comes Billis's pitch. It's set on the ground to the second baseman Vavra. He'll flip to the shortstop Avant. Retired Jaron Duran to end the inning. No runs on, no hits, no errors, and 1 man left on. There is no score here at Lowell Park. We head to the bottom of the first. You're listening to Wareham Gatemen Baseball on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
When you're sick or injured, you want care when and where it's convenient for you. South Coast Health Urgent Care has 4 locations: Fairhaven, Wareham, and now in Seekonk and Dartmouth. You can view wait times and even check in online at southcoast.org/urgentcare. Choose the time and location that's best for you. We'll even remind you when it's time to come in, and walk-ins are always welcome. Urgent care that exists to meet your needs. More than you expected? That's more than medicine. Check in at southcoast.org/urgentcare.
The Down East Lobster Roll combos are back at the 99 restaurants. Visit today in Centerville, Falmouth, Mashpee, Wareham, or Yarmouth for the best value for lobster rolls on the Cape. The 99, proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League.
Back here at Lowell Park, Jacob Toby along with Sam Corman. Let's run through the Cotuit lineup. Griffin Conine will lead it off. He's the right fielder. Grayson Genesta in center field. Taryn Vavra, the second baseman, batting third. Miles Lewis in left field bats fourth. Michael Tolia at first base. Thomas Dillard, the DH. Luke Alexander bats 7th. He's at 3rd. Chandler Avant, the shortstop, batting 8th. Ivan Gonzalez, the catcher, will bat 9th. The defense for the Wareham Gatemen goes like this. Kyle Kasser is at 3rd. Nate Fosnot, the shortstop. Jaron Duran at 2nd. Blake Sable at 1st. Left to right in the outfield, John Topa, Stephen Kwan, Nick Angelini. Jake Anchia does the catching for Noah Zavalis.
Yeah, it's the 2 fastball combination for Noah Zavalis that's really been fooling opposing hitters. His last outing just last week was unbelievable. About 6 innings for Zavalis, and struck out 8 batters against the Chatham Anglers en route to a extra innings victory. Only gave up 5 hits in those 6 innings. Zavalis working his way into the starting rotation because he has been outstanding this season out of Harvard, and I'd expect to see more of that today against a Cotuit lineup that might not be so familiar with this guy.
And let me tell you this, he didn't walk anyone in his last outing versus the Anglers as well. That's been Wareham's strength. Their pitchers' least walks in the CCBL coming into tonight, 88 walks. Zavalis' first pitch taken for strike 1 from Griffin Conine.
There's a good changeup from Zavalis to start off on Griffin Conine. That speed reader out in the outfield is clutch here at Lowell Park for detecting pitches.
Second pitch at the at-bat from Conine, rather to Conine, is sent out to left center field. That falls right in front of Kwan for the base hit. Conine continues to be one of the hottest hitters on the Cape. Came into today .318, 8 home runs and 27 RBIs. Those 8 home runs and 27 RBIs lead the CCBL.
Not surprising at all that from Griffin Conine. Duke University expected to have a really good baseball team next season. A lot going on there. Conine played in the college home run derby. He has been outstanding this year, bringing the power.
Leadoff hitter is on for the Kettleers. First pitch of the at-bat taken from Grayson Genista, the center fielder, who's also batting .318. He's got 3 bombs and 15 ribbies.
Genista participating in the Cape League Home Run Derby this season. Of course, it was the West Division, the East Division. I still don't know my East and West. The East Division taking over that Home Run Derby with the Orleans Firebird Stephen Scott taking the victory.
A 1 chopped in the box off of Genista himself. He's down no balls and 2 strikes. Genista and Conine both with that .318 batting average, tied 9th coming into today in the CCBL.
It's one of the best 1-2 punches of a lineup, probably the best in the Cape Cod League, where you have Conine followed by Wichita State's Grayson Genista.
Genista also batting from the left side. 2 left-handers to face Zavalis, the right-hander. He swings and misses on a breaking ball for out number 1. Grayson Genista down by way of the K, 1 out.
Well, that 2-seam fastball from Zavalis, 89 miles per hour, comes in from the inside part of the plate, low, keeping it down in the zone, forcing Genista to ground out if he does make contact with that pitch. Really good stuff from Zavalis there. That's the key for him, is keeping those pitches down in the zone.
That strikeout brought to you by the law offices of Lang, Exafaris, and Bullard. Taryn Vavra, the second baseman, goes to bunt it down the third base line, but rolls it foul. Now Kasser over there at third is going to be playing in on the grass a bit. Vavra coming into this game today, leading this team in batting average, although hasn't been here as much as Conine or Genista, but .325, no home runs, 5 RBIs. Conine, the runner at first. Second pitch at the at-bat. Breaking ball swung on and missed. No balls and 2 strikes. No outs. Rather, 1 out. Runner on first. No score.
Well, with Zavalis' repertoire of pitches never going below 80 miles per hour usually, it leaves less room for him to, hang a breaking ball or to get hurt big time over the fences, keeping all those pitches at high speeds.
Zavalis from the stretch. Looks on to home plate. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. Tried to paint the outside with a fastball, just missing. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Well, I think he was trying to get Vavra to chase outside the strike zone there on 0-2. A 2-seam fastball. Looks like it's going to come in on the outside corner, but then moves off the plate a little bit. 91 from Zavalis on that 2-seamer.
1-2 pitch. This one is swung on and missed. No. They're going to say he fouled it off. Vavra. Oh, now Vavra is actually going to be retired. He's out by way of the strikeout. He did not run down to first base.
Interesting, considering I thought he might have, got a piece of it, and that's why the umpire stopped him. But I'm kind of confused as to why Jeff January stopped Vavra.
Well, there was a runner on first. That's the reason why. So now Conine down to second base. So back-to-back strikeouts here from Zavalis. That one brought to you by the law offices of Lang, Exafaris, and Bullard as well. Miles Lewis, the left fielder, will step in from the left side. 250, no home runs, 6 RBIs. Runner now in scoring position is Conine. First pitch taken low for ball 1. So Conine reaches on the single, then advances to second on Vavra's strikeout. Still no score. Top of the inning the bottom of the inning for the Kettleers. 2 balls and no strikes. That one a bit outside. Lewis in left field today. Here comes Zavalis' 2-0 pitch from the stretch. This one connected well out to left field. Coming in is Topa. Makes the catch. And that will end the inning. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 man left aboard for the Kettleers. We're through 1 at Lowell Park. Wareham Gatemen 0 and the Kettleers 0. You're listening to Wareham Gatemen Baseball on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Listen to the game wherever you go with the Next Radio app. Catch this station's local broadcast or stream all the action right on your phone. Visit the Google Play Store and download the free Next Radio app today.
Baseball Factory, a proud partner of the Cape League since 1991, holds over 600 events nationwide for players ages 8 through 18, including 3 training weeks here in the Cape. Baseball Factory alumni have played on every Division I college program across the nation, plus 400 have made it to the majors. Visit baseballfactory.com to learn how you can build your way to greatness.
Friendly's Restaurants, a timeless tradition since 1935, is proud to be the official ice cream of the Cape Cod Baseball League and bring together 2 of America's favorite pastimes, baseball and ice cream.
The Gatemen Baseball Network would like to remind you that you can contact us anytime by emailing pressbox@gatemen.org. Please feel free to send us your questions or comments, and we'll make sure to address them as soon as possible. Make sure you're keeping up with all the Gatemen action 24/7 by following Wareham Gatemen on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and SoundCloud. Top of the second at Lowell Park in Cotuit, Mass. No score between the Gatemen and the Kettleers. Jason Billis on for his second inning of work, facing John Topa. And Topa swings at the first breaking pitch he sees. No balls and 1 strike.
Well, that slider for Billis, why it's so dangerous is because not only does it have the movement, it has 83 miles of velocity on it.
Second pitch, same spot, same result. Swing and miss. No balls and 2 strikes. Topa 283. No home runs and 9 RBIs. It is Topa, Sable, and Fosnot in this half inning. Here comes Billis' 0-2. Bit outside, and the catcher Gonzalez couldn't hang on to it. Rolls about 3 feet in front of the fence, just in front of our positioning, behind home plate, off to the right. Topa last night 0 for 4 with a pair of strikeouts versus the Harbor Hawks. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. This one bounces, but Gonzalez blocks it this time. Rolls all the way to down the third baseline a bit. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
And Topa got himself in a hole swinging at 2 sliders outside of the strike zone. Now it's 2-2. He might get a better pitch to hit, as Billis does not want to force his 3rd walk of the game already.
Billis is 2-2. Fouled off to the right and out of play. Topa, nice at bat here. This will be the 6th pitch coming up. Topa in left field today. Joking before the game during batting practice how he was in center field for the All-Star game. 2-2 pitch from Billis is low. Ricochets off the catcher, almost over the netting, which is on top of the fence here at Lowell Park.
Well, Billis's command has not been too strong today. I mean, John Topa in a 3-2 count, but both strikes were outside of the strike zone. Granted, they were supposed to be there, but Billis falling behind in the counts.
Topa calls time at the plate. And again, we were talking pregame. I said, Topa, why didn't they move you to center field? Rather, move you to left field and move Dotson to center, because Dotson played about 3/4 of his games in center field for California this year. And he goes, I don't know. 3-2 pitch on the ground. Avant at short, 2 steps. A throw on first. And Topa is retired 6-3 to start the 2nd. Blake Sable will come up, the first baseman. He will bat from the left side. 177 this season, 1 home run and 6 runs batted in. Was 1 for 3 yesterday with a couple runs scored, a walk. Also had a triple.
Yeah, opposite field for Blake Sable. And with that slider, he might be able to get a similar pitch.
Taking ball 1 low. 93-mile-an-hour fastball. 1 ball and no strikes. Sable, one of the younger players we have here on the Cape.
Yeah, he's still getting a lot better. He was one of the best prospect catchers out of high school.
1-0 becomes 2-0.
Interesting that he hasn't been catching a lot here on the Cape, though. I'm sure USC plans to use him as a catcher in the future. The Trojans trying to improve on a pretty disastrous season this season in the Pac-12.
2-0, big swing and miss from Sable. 2 balls and 1 strike.
But obviously still a young team led by Blake Sable, who's a rising sophomore out there, and expect him to be a lot better going back after this summer on the Cape. You can already see the defensive skills have improved a lot.
2-1, fouled off to the left and out of play. Nice crowd on hand today at Lowell Park. There are bleachers down the first base line and third base line. I'd say the third base line is pretty much filled up. Couple spots still left down the first base line, just behind the Wareham dugout. 2-2 to Sable. Made contact out to center field. Genesta reaches up and makes the catch. Had to do a little hop to put it in his glove, but he does so for out number 2.
That's a good piece of hitting from Blake Sable, though. He's able to get a hold of that pitch on the inside part of the plate. Yesterday it was a pitch on the outside part of the plate that he was able to punch out opposite field. Showing a little bit of everything these past few games. Gets good wood on that, but right to the center fielder, Genesta, who's not making many mistakes out there in the outfield. That whole outfield, especially Genesta and Conine, elite on defense.
Nate Fosnot takes ball 1 up high. Fosnot 273, no home runs, 3 RBIs, coming back from the finger injury. Fosnot is 1 for 5 since his return, taking ball 2 outside. Fosnot known for that defense.
Yeah, and a crowded left side of the infield, of course, with Ben Baird, Robbie Metz, Kyle Kasser, and William McIver all out there on the left side sometimes.
2 balls and no strikes. The pitch 3-0 after that ball down low.
And Billis falling behind in counts again. We'll see what Fosnot's approach is in a hitter's count right here.
Billis delivers the 3-0. It's up high, ball 4, a 2-out walk. That is already the 3rd of the day.
Yeah, and Billis is able to kind of put on the damage control when he does walk batters with that last inning. And now already 2 outs in the inning. The Gatemen with the top of the order coming up after Nick Angelini. But you know, that two-out walk. The Gatemen have been pretty good at starting two-out rallies in the past.
Nick Angelini, the right fielder, stepping in from the right side, swings at the first pitch, sends it down the third baseline, foul. Angelini, 234, 1 home run, 4 RBIs.
Has some fond memories here at Lowell Park, Nick Angelini does. Hit a 3-run jack out here, opposite field. The wind was aiding him, but nonetheless,
it still happened.
Helped an 11-0 victory for the Gatemen here a few weeks ago.
Runner on first, 2 outs, no score. Top of the second, they check back the runner at first. Diving back safely is Fosnot. In Billis' last outing, which was July 20th, versus the Bourne Braves at Doran Park, a 5-3 loss. He went 4 innings, gave up a couple earned runs. This one up and in on Angelini. 6 strikeouts and 3 walks in that outing. So he already has 3 walks through 1 2/3 innings today. He pitched 4 innings in that start versus the Braves, so that's a concern. 1-1, big swing and miss. No contact made.
It seems like the fastball has been the best pitch for Billis today. When he goes to the slider, sometimes it's missing a lot of the times, as well as the changeup, both running mid-80s and missing in the strike zone.
1-2 pitch. Up and away on a fastball, 95, the gun says, here at Lowell Park on the scoreboard. That green scoreboard out in left center field with white letters. 2-2 pitch. Down and away, a slider. Angelini didn't go for it. Now the count runs full. 3 balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs. A runner on first, which is Nate Fosnot. And no score. Top of the second. Billis is 3-2. Runner goes. This one sent up in the air, foul over our heads behind home plate.
A good job by Angelini staying alive, knowing that Billis is having a tough time throwing strikes consistently. And not only will he be looking for a good pitch to hit with 3 balls, but he'll be looking for sure for a ball 4 coming out of Billis' wild arm right now.
3-2 pitch, up and in, ball 4. Back-to-back walks here from Billis. Now 2 runners on with 2 outs for the Wareham Gatemen. Back to the top, Stephen Kwan.
Well, Stephen Kwan, I mean, what more can we say about this guy? He's been hitting the crap out of the ball ever since he got here.
Mike Roberts will head out to the mound. A tad bit of action stirring in that Cotuit bullpen down there. I actually know personally the bullpen catcher out there, Danny Crossan,
and
co-worker.
No surprise out that Mike Roberts is on the mound right now, just trying to settle his pitcher down, because Jason Billis has not looked Jason Billis-esque so far in this outing. The command issues continuing for him, but maybe this mound visit will help him out. He does have 2 outs in the inning, but Blake Sable, if you go back earlier in this inning, he did fly out to center, but he did make really good contact off of Billis. So right now he's trying to settle himself down, and really he has to use that slider more to his advantage. It hasn't really been working out for him early on in this game, but it's still a scoreless game as of now.
Kwan singled, then was caught in a pickle back in the first. He takes ball 1 from the left side. Billis, this will be his 7th start in his 8th appearance on the season. He's 0-1 with a 5.32 ERA. 29 strikeouts, 20 walks. 1-0 pitch, taken for strike 1 on the outside part. 1 ball and 1 strike. Fosnot is at second. Angelini's at first with 2 outs in the inning and no score at Lowell Park. One, fooled on a breaking ball. Now down to his final strike in the at-bat, 1-2.
Good slider from Jason Billis, trying to keep the ball inside on Stephen Kwan. Anything outside, and I bet Kwan's eyeing that hole between the third baseman Alexander and the shortstop Avant. There's quite a big hole over there.
1-2, ring him up, called strike 3. says home plate umpire Jeff January, and that will end the inning. No runs, no hits, no errors. 2 men left on for the Wareham Gatemen, and there's still no score at Lowell Park. We head to the bottom of the second. You're listening to Wareham Gatemen Baseball on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
We appreciate and thank the sponsors who support the Cape League and the 10 teams. Our corporate sponsors are the financial backbone of the league. It is with their support that we are able to preserve our long-standing tradition of providing the best family entertainment here on Cape Cod. On behalf of the visiting team, the Wareham Gatemen, league officers, and the entire Cape League family, we would like to announce and thank our 2017 corporate sponsors. With much appreciation, we recognize the Yawkey Foundation, Chatham Bars Inn, the Fuller Family Foundation, Dunkin' Donuts, Curry College, Cape Cod Healthcare, the 99 Restaurants, Coca-Cola Bottling of Cape Cod Potato Chips, Friendly's Ice Cream, Baseball Factory, Cape and Island License Plate, 47 Brand, Cape Cod 5 Cents Saving Bank, Stop and Shop, Peapod. We'll be back to you in the next inning for the second half of this outstanding list of loyal sponsors.
Lowell Park, the home of the Cotuit Kettleers, as they host the Wareham Gatemen. Jacob Toby with Sam Corman, Claudia Chikamian, Matt Feld, Connor Federico on hand, the whole crew.
A nice wave from Connor Federico, about 3 feet away from us.
Michael Tolia will step in for the Cotuit Kettleers. Tolia, 218, 2 home runs, 15 RBIs. Swings on Zavalis, his first pitch, and fouls it off to the left, 0-1. It is Tolia, Dillard, and Alexander. Just heard my favorite sound effect of baseball, the broken glass sound effect, here at Lowell Park.
Hope you parked your car far enough, Jacob.
0-1, inside for strike 2, and I did. I'm a veteran. I know how to do that.
Of course. I had to warn everyone, my family, not to park close to this field here at in Cotuit because the foul balls, it's foul ball city over there.
0-2 in the dirt, blocked by Anchia. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Yeah, the parking lot not far away from the field here at Lowell Park.
Another great crowd here in Cotuit. You can see the stands down the third base line are packed.
1-2 pitch. Blooper out to left, but coming in and making the catch is John Topa for out number 1. Would say that Lowell Park fans are some of the best we have here on the Cape, along with the Chatham Anglers Veterans Field fans, of course, Spillane Fields fans.
Oh, undoubtedly number 1. You know, only team off the Cape, and get all those fans from the surrounding areas, Mattapoisett, Middleborough, Rochester, they all come down to Wareham for the games night in and night out.
Thomas Dillard takes strike 1 on the inside part. Dillard, the DH in the lineup, just 148 with a home run and 6 runs batted in. And strike 2 taken on a fastball from Dillard. Luke Alexander, the third baseman, is on deck. No balls and 2 strikes. Here comes the pitch. Taken just a bit outside.
But Zavalis getting ahead in the count, giving himself the luxury of putting that pitch outside, trying to get Dillard to chase out of the strike zone. Still ahead in the count, though, has one more pitch to kind of do what he wants and kind of try to fool Thomas Dillard into something he doesn't want to do.
1-2. Out down the right field line. And this one's going to leave the ballpark. A home run. It got out of here pretty fast. Thomas Dillard, the DH, just gave the Cotuit Kettleers a 1-0 lead.
It's the first time we've seen Noah Zavalis get kind of pounded this season. I mean, that ball was crushed inside part of the plate, and he just destroys it down the right field line. And that ball left in a hurry. Haven't seen a ball leave as fast as Michael Curry's All-Star Game jack at Spillane Field, but that one was close. I mean, Dillard just destroyed that one.
Now head coach Don Snedden is going to come out and talk to Jeff January, the home plate umpire. Maybe on, well, now they're standing on the mound. A trainer is needed perhaps for Zavalis.
Yeah,
I thought at first they were going to talk about the home run, but that was no doubt. Now Zavalis will take some warm-up tosses.
Yeah, I mean, with the way that this season's been going and with the way that the pitching staff's kind of running out, the Gatemen have to really hope that Noah Zavalis is just being precautionary, but he's taking some warm-up pitches right now.
Just took 2 warm-up throws. Now Don Snedden will call for Jim Lawler, and Zavalis will leave this ball game. The trainer coming out from Cotuit, walking him off the field just across the first base line. He will head to the dugout, and pitching coach Jim Lawler makes the call to the bullpen. So we'll take a break here at Lowell Park. No score between the Wareham Gatemen and the Cotuit Cavaliers. You're listening to Wareham Gatemen Baseball on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Don't miss a minute of this station's pre- and post-game sports talk. Tune in on your smartphone with the Next Radio app. It's live and it's local. Download the free Next Radio app from the Google Play Store today. Registration is now open for the 2017 Wareham Gatemen Youth Clinics. The instruction clinics are open to boys and girls between ages 4 and 15. The clinics are a great opportunity to meet and learn from some of the best collegiate players in the country. Clinics are held Monday through Friday, depending on the player's off day. For more information and to sign up your young ball player, visit www.gatemen.org. Curry College offers 14 NCAA Division III athletic teams in sports such as football, baseball, softball, basketball, hockey, soccer, lacrosse, tennis, cross country, and volleyball. Read about the success of the Curry Colonels and their championship teams. It's all online at www.curry.edu. The Wareham Gatemen would like to thank Mr. Brian Clue and SmartGo Services LLC, located in Taunton, Massachusetts, for being the official sponsors of the Gatemen Player Development Program. The Player Development Program aims to improve both the players' and interns' skills and prepares them for a career in professional baseball. Again, a sincere thank you to Mr. Brian Clue and SmartGo Services.
The Wareham Gatemen would like to thank Franklin Sports for their sponsorship of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Franklin is yet again proud to be the official batting glove of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Throughout the summer, all 10 Cape League teams are wearing their own custom team batting gloves, courtesy of Franklin Sports. To order your favorite team's design or to create your own, visit franklinsports.com/custom. Enter code CCBL20 for 20% off your purchase. From Cape Cod to the major leagues, only the best hitters in baseball wear Franklin gloves. The 99 Restaurants has 9 real-size entrees for only $9.99. They're big, hearty portions you can count on all day, every day, like their hand-breaded crispy fish tacos with cilantro lime rice. The 99 Restaurants, proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Red Shirt Fridays is a national program created to acknowledge, honor, and support our troops who put themselves in harm's way to defend our freedom. In support of this program, the Cape League teams will be wearing a specially designed red jersey every Friday. This special weekly celebration of Red Shirt Fridays is sponsored by 47 Brand, HP Hood, Cape Cod Regional Transit Authority, Advanced Embroidery, and the Cape League. Support our troops and join us by wearing red each Friday. The Wareham Gatemen and the visiting team, the Cape Cod Baseball League, and the NCAA promote good sportsmanship by student athletes, coaches, and spectators. We request your cooperation and positive support of the participants and officials. Profanity, racial or sexist comments, or other intimidating actions directed at officials, student athletes, coaches, or team representatives will not be tolerated and are grounds for removal from this ballpark.
When you're sick or injured, you want care when and where it's convenient for you. South Coast Health Urgent Care has 4 locations: Fairhaven, Wareham, and now in Seekonk and Dartmouth. You can view wait times and even check in online at southcoast.org/urgent-care. Choose the time and location that's best for you. We'll even remind you when it's time to come in, and walk-ins are always welcome. Urgent care that exists to meet your needs. More than you expected? That's more than medicine. Check in at southcoast.org/urgent-care.
Urgent Care is now available at 4 Cape Cod healthcare locations: Hyannis, Falmouth, Sandwich, and Harwich. Open after hours and weekends, staffed by ER physicians. Expert care when you need it. Learn more at capecodhealth.org/urgent-care.
Back here at Lowell Park, Noah Zavalis has left this ball game due to an injury. For more on this, we send it to our sideline reporter, Claudia Chikamian.
Thank you, Jacob. Yeah, like you just mentioned, Noah Zavalis is out for today's game. I just went over to check on him. He has a pulled hamstring in his left hamstring. It doesn't look good. When I talked to head coach Don Sneddon, he said it's in some pain. It's very tight back there and just not what you needed. You know, the Gatemen wanted Noah Zavalis to go out there and be able to go those long innings and get a really good start out of him. And you don't want to see this guy go down. He's a great guy, great pitcher. And you could tell that Coach Sneddon was upset by the news, not only just because he had to go to the bullpen early and losing a really good pitcher, because he's a really good guy. You don't want to see him injured. So we're hoping for the best on him. But as of right now, all we know is that it's a pulled hamstring, and he was laying down. His trainer was kind of trying to massage him, see if he could get anything to feel better. But that's all we got right now. Back to you, Jacob.
Thank you very much. Not good news for pitching coach Jim Lawler, head coach Don Sneddon, and the Wareham Gatemen, because breaking news, Griffin Roberts has also left the team. He's gone home. Joey Matulovic left. Miller Hogan left. I mean, this team is now decimated at the starting pitching position, which we talked about all season long. That's been their strength.
And they're getting low on pitchers in general, I would say, at this point. I mean, you're losing starters, but not only are you losing starters, you're losing pitchers, and they're not getting replaced in the roster at all right now. I mean, you look at the Gatemen pitching staff right now when you just lost another one, and it's rough. I mean, Mason Fioli, you're hoping that he can step up and be a big starter. This was the guy that I was thinking maybe he'll step into a starting role for the Gatemen, and how here he is, a chance to go long innings, Jordan Britton.
Yeah, Jordan Britton coming on. Don't forget about Justin Glover, who also left, not due to injury, but due to the innings.
Yeah, and it's tough. I mean, Gatemen pitching staff getting kind of roughed up recently, I would say, and you only have a few guys in the bullpen who have been really, really reliable this season, and you hope that maybe one or two of those other guys, such as Will Neely or Frank German, will step up to the plate and be a reliable source down in the bullpen down the stretch. But right now, Jordan Britton, big outing for him coming up.
Britton, the lefty, will deliver first pitch to Luke Alexander, low for a ball, 1-0. Britton, 6'3", 204 pounds, out of Oregon State. The left-hander delivers the second pitch in the dirt, 2 balls and no strikes. And he had to warm up for about 5 to 7 minutes because he had no time in the bullpen to warm up. That was without warming up in right field in that bullpen. So he used his mound session as a bullpen session. 2-0 pitch is low, 3 balls and no strikes. You're seeing the effects right now, 3 balls in the dirt.
Yeah, really tough situation for Jordan Britton to be put into, especially since he hasn't pitched in a while. You hope that he can go out there and kind of put on his best performance of the season. He's had a few good outings, but you'd like to see him go scoreless.
Alexander takes strike 1. 3 balls and 1 strike. So a 1-0 lead for the Kettleers over the Wareham Gatemen, thanks to a solo home run from Thomas Dillard. Last batter Zavalis faced. Britton's 3-1, set on the ground, diving stop made by Kasser, throws on to first, and in time. Kyle Kasser, nice play over there at the hot corner, ranging to his left for out number 2. Nice play from Kasser, who has been stellar defensively all season long over there between shortstop and third base. Retires Luke Alexander for the second out of the second inning. Chandler Avant, the shortstop, will take ball one from Britton, low in the dirt. Avant on this Cape League season, 191, 3 home runs and 11 RBIs. 1-0 to Avant is popped up foul behind home plate and out of play. The kids run off and go chase it.
Well, one thing about Jordan Britton, he's a lot different of a pitcher than Noah Zavalis. Not only is he a lefty, as opposed to Zavalis being a righty, but he does drop below 80 miles per hour with a breaking ball.
Breaking ball doesn't swoop in anywhere in that strike zone. 2 balls and 1 strike, 80 miles an hour. We last saw Britton July 20th. This one bounces to the plate. About the 4th or 5th pitch that's bounced in the dirt. 3 balls and 1 strike to Chandler Avant. Yeah, we last saw Britton on the 20th, with pitched 2 innings. No earned, 2 hits, 3 strikeouts, and a walk.
Britton also doesn't have as much velocity on his fastball. You'll see it at about 90 miles an hour.
3-1, sent foul on the ground to the left side, down that third base line, hits the fence and ricochets. Player from the Cotuit bullpen has to come out and grab the ball off the field. Full count, here comes Britton's 3-2. Up, high, ball 4. He will send Avant down to first base with a 2-out walk. But you have to give Britton some credit coming in on short notice.
Yeah, I mean, obviously someone had to step up to the plate and come into this game. You couldn't just leave the mound empty, but Jordan Britton, certainly a good choice for Jim Lawler to stick him in there, because this is a guy that's coming here really wanting to pitch a lot of innings, because he didn't get a lot of playing time in a very crowded Oregon State Beavers pitching staff. Obviously, their pitching staff was loaded.
Ivan Gonzalez, the batter. Runner goes. Pitch was outside. The throw down to second base is in time. Avant caught stealing. Nice throw from Jake Anchia down to second base. The tag applied to Avant, and the side is retired. Not before the Cotuit Cavaliers get a solo shot from Thomas Dillard. 1 run, 1 hit, no errors, no men left on. They lead it 1-0. You're listening to Wareham Gatemen Baseball on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Continuing with our corporate sponsors, we also want to recognize and thank Franklin Sports, Advanced Embroidery, Cape Destinations, Robert B.R., Sullivan Tire, Vacation Inn Cape Cod, Cape Cod Veterinary Specialists, Cape Cod Times, Kinlan Grover Real Estate, Next Radio, Yellow Book, TSA, Rawlings, Cape Cod Chamber of Commerce, Highline Cruises, Sports Picks, On Deck Sports, Barnstable Bat, Hyannis Area Chamber of Commerce, HP Hood, Sunderland Printing, and Axis Bats. And of course, thank you to Major League Baseball for over 50 years of support.
Urgent care is now available at 4 Cape Cod healthcare locations: Hyannis, Falmouth, Sandwich, and Harwich. Open after hours and weekends, staffed by ER physicians. Expert care when you need it. Learn more at capecodhealth.org/urgent-care. One 1-0 lead for the Cotuit Cavaliers over the Wareham Gatemen, thanks to a solo shot from Thomas Dillard last half inning off of Noah Zavalis, the last hitter to face Zavalis after he leaves with the thigh injury. And Kyle Kasser
will step in from the left side to face Jason Billis, who has walked 4 batters through 2 innings.
We'll see if Billis is going to settle into this game. He's gotten lucky because the Gatemen haven't been able to make much contact off of him.
First pitch, strike 1.
But with the way he's been pitching, I think the Gatemen batters might want to change their approach a little bit from less of a swing-first approach to a more of a conservative approach against a pitcher who's having a tough time throwing strikes. That pitch was out of the strike zone. Kasser chases it down low.
Billis winds, kicks and deals. The 0-1 sent to center. Genista ranging over to his right, takes a few steps on the jog, and retires Kasser for out number 1. So Wareham coming off the 7-4 loss versus Hyannis. Cotuit coming off a 9-0 shutout loss at the Brewster Whitecaps yesterday. Third time Cotuit has been shut out this season.
Both the other times were against the Gatemen.
Ain't that a good stat? McIver takes the pitch in the dirt. 1-0.
And both here.
Even better stat. 1 ball and no strikes is the count to McIver, who takes his hacks from the right side. Swings on this one, sends it foul over our heads behind home plate. 1-1. And after shaking hands, Cotuit yesterday had no post-game meeting. They just went straight from the dugout to the bus, headed home. Usually teams have the meeting after each game. Not the case. 1-1 inside, 2 balls and 1 strike. And Coach Roberts saying after the game, we were just dominated. 4 total errors for the Kettleers. Just not a good showing. 2-1 from Billis, taking 4 strike 2.
In long baseball seasons, that's bound to happen maybe once or twice. Haven't really seen a score line like that with the Gatemen, but we have seen games where they just haven't been into it, such as yesterday, such as the game on Sunday against YD. But 9-0, certainly not a good showing for Cotuit.
2-2 to McIver, sends it out to left field. Ranging over to his left is Lewis. He makes the catch for out number 2. And last night, through 8 innings, the Kettleers had more errors. They had 4 than hits. They had 3. And Taryn Vavra out of Minnesota managed to tie that number up at 4 with 2 outs in the 9th inning. So 4 hits, 4 errors through 9. Not good. If you're the Cotuit Kettleers, and John Martellini after the game said, I think we need to look for our pitches, not the pitcher's pitch. First pitch taken for a ball on the outside part. Jaron Duran, who walked back in the first.
Well, sometimes that approach from Martellini will work, but sometimes the pitchers are just too good for you to even have that approach. They won't give you a good pitch to hit.
Second pitch at the at-bat. Skips in the dirt right to the backstop under the glove of the catcher Gonzalez. 2 balls and no strikes with 2 outs in the top of the third. A 1-0 lead for Cotuit.
Well, the Gatemen had gone 18 scoreless innings against the Kettleers here at Lowell Park.
2-0 is inside. The fastball doesn't catch the inside part. 3 balls and no strikes.
But then 19, and then they give up a run in the second. The first time they've surrendered a run here in Cotuit this season, game number 3. Of course, Griffin Roberts was just dominant last time the Gatemen were here.
3-0, taken for strike 1. And Justin Hooper was pretty good as well for the Kettleers. He has gone home as well.
Sad. Losing all these great arms out here on the Cape late in the season and went down the stretch. It's tough to see him go. I mean, Miller Hogan had a phenomenal outing here at Cotuit the first time we were here.
3-1 to Duran, taken for strike 2. Now the count runs full.
And he's gone back home to good old Kansas. So tough to see those guys go, of course. And with Zavalis hurt, I mean, if he had been able to stay in this game, you never know what he could have put together. And he actually hurt himself on the pitch that he gave up that home run. So you wonder how that affected that particular pitch, and if Thomas Dillard may have gotten a meatball from him.
3-2. Chipped foul in the box. Duran staying alive. And Tristan Pompey got hurt yesterday in the ball game versus the Harbor Hawks. Gatemen losing players left and right.
Yeah, you just don't want to risk anything here in the summer collegiate leagues with injuries. Usually once a guy gets hurt, probably going home.
3-2 pitch from Billis is outside, ball 4. Duran walks for the second time in this ball game. That is the 5th walk of Billis's outing.
Yeah, it's amazing that he has 5 walks, and the Gatemen have yet to get a runner past second base. The situational hitting has not been there today. The hitting in general hasn't been there today. They're just forcing Billis out of the strike zone. And Jake Anchia trying to get the second hit of the game for Wareham in a timely situation. And with the way that the Gatemen have been hitting this ball, have been hitting Billis in this inning, two deep fly balls, you never know. Anchia might be able to get a hold of one here on the Coastal Carolina product.
Anchia, runner on first, 2 outs in the inning, takes strike 1. Duran with the speed over on first base.
Good situation for him to go. 2 outs, down by 1 runner early in the game, and no risk with a guy of that speed at first base.
0-1 is taken for strike 2. Gonzalez seemed to move that mitt down a bit to frame it up, and Jeff January agreed with it.
Yeah, that pitch was up and away, but good job by Dillard moving it back into the strike zone. Excuse me, Gonzalez.
0-2 is cut on and missed on a slider. Anchia goes down to end the inning. No runs, no hits, no errors. One man left aboard. And through 2.5 innings, it's 1-0 Cotuit. And we'll send it now to Connor Federico for a CCBL score update.
Thank you very much, Jacob. 1-run games all around the Cape League right now. First, we'll go to Stony Brook Field in Brewster. It's 4-3 in favor of the Whitecaps in the top of the 4th. It was a 3-run first inning in the top of the first for the Chatham Anglers. Fast forward to the second, Hunter Bishop scored a 2-run home run, and in the third, Mickey Gasper had a 2 RBI single. Brewster had 4-3 in the top of the 4th. To Yarmouth Dennis, the Harwich Mariners trail 1-2 against YD. YD's runs coming off the bat of a solo shot from Connor Kaiser, and then an Alex McKenna RBI double. Guys, we're still waiting the start of Hyannis and Falmouth. That one set for 6 o'clock, 2 minutes from now. And then we're awaiting the start at 6 o'clock for the Orleans Firebirds and the Bourne Braves, a battle of first place teams. And this one is getting really exciting here in both divisions of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Jacob, back to you.
Thanks, buddy. Back here at Lowell Park in Cotuit, Mass. A 1-0 lead for the Kettleers over the Wareham Gatemen. Jacob Toby along with Sam Corman. Producer Matt Weasel Thayer running the board today, doing a fantastic job.
A Weasel-tastic job.
Ooh, Weasel-tastic. I like that. I like that. Nice job. Ivan Gonzalez will step in to face Jordan Britton, who relieves Noah Zavalis after the injury. Lefty winds, kicks, and deals. Delivers the first pitch at the at-bat for strike 1 to Gonzalez. Gonzalez, the last hitter to have his first at-bat in this ball game. 200. No home runs and 2 RBIs. This one bounces to the plate. 1 ball and 1 strike. Gonzalez batting from the right side. 1-1 is low. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Big key for Jordan Britton is to, like Noah Zavalis, get ahead in the count and down 2-1 here to the 9-hitter Gonzalez.
2-1 is up and away. 3 balls and 1 strike. Maybe right about now is the time that Britton would probably feel comfortable in that bullpen to come in for an appearance. if he was coming out of the bullpen on a regular appearance. 3-1 is low, and he walks the leadoff hitter.
Not great to walk the 9-hitter and then bring up, the big bombs of this top of the order in Conine and Genista with already a man on base. I mean, Britton 2 walks now and just a few batters faced, and you have to hope that he wasn't caught too off guard by getting put in this game out of nowhere after the Zavalis injury.
Griffin Conine singled for his first at-bat. Time called at the plate. 5 strikes, 11 balls thrown by Britton right now. First pitch, breaking ball missing outside, 1-0. Here comes the kettle as the kids holding the kettle pots for some donations running around us tonight.
I believe the Kettleers name comes from a Native American background here at Cotuit.
This one popped up down the left field line, coming over his Topa. He makes the catch just on the left field line out there on the green. 1 out here in the inning.
Has something to do with the Native American trade here in the Mashpee Cotuit area, having to do with a kettle.
Where are you going to go with this?
I don't know. I read it on their website, and I'm going to go look it up again because
I guess I should know. I'm Native American, but I mean, man.
You should know.
Grayson Genista swings at the first pitch, rockets it right up the middle, past the glove of Britton, in for a base hit. Gathering it quickly is Quan. Now there's runners on first and second with 1 out and a 1-0 lead for Cotuit. So Genista finds himself on first. Gonzalez advances to second after he walked to lead off the inning.
More than 300 years ago, according to legend, the Indians bartered with the early settlers for the land on which the villages of Cotuit and Santuit now stand. The terms of the sale were a brass kettle with a hoe thrown in for good measure. Thus, the Cotuit baseball team's nickname is the Kettleers, from the early real estate transaction.
Vavra, first pitch in the dirt. Ball was lost from Anchia behind the plate. Thought about throwing to third, but both runners advance. Taron Vavra sees the first pitch of his at-bat go in the dirt. And Britton a little wild right now.
Yeah, it'll go as a wild pitch on Jordan Britton. Pitch was in the dirt. Having trouble throwing strikes early in this game, and has the heart of this order up, already one on base in Genista.
This one bunted, and a diving stab made by the pitcher Britton. He couldn't catch it. 1 run scores on the play. The bunt from Vavra up in the air. Britton sprinted to the first baseline. Couldn't make the catch. Coming home to score was Ivan Gonzalez, and now a 2-0 lead for Cotuit.
Well, goes as a base hit for Taron Vavra, but questionable decision there for Jordan Britton to go diving for that ball. I mean, I guess he thought he had a play on it, the big 6'3" frame laying out there over by the first baseline, but crucial time in this game right now.
Miles Lewis, he bunts one down the first baseline. Britton, no play at first, another run scores. Genista scores for the Cotuit Kettleers. 2 straight bunts and a 3-0 lead for Cotuit.
I mean, that was a disaster. The whole defense was not ready for that bunt, and I hate to call out any names in particular, but the right side of the infield did not move, and Blake Sable was nowhere to be found. Jordan Britton goes over to play that, and he has no play. I mean, he did the right thing. Well-placed bunt by Miles Lewis. I have to give him credit, but this game could.
This first pitch of the at-bat from Britton fouled off by Michael Tolia, who flew out to left field his first time up.
This is tough for Jordan Britton. I mean, he was, in a situation where he was just put into the game out of nowhere. Maybe he was scheduled to come in later, but He a little bit caught off guard, and now some crazy plays.
0-1 fouled straight back to the fence behind home plate. No balls and 2 strikes with 1 out here in the bottom of the third. A 3-0 lead for the Kettleers over the G-Men.
It's only the G-Men at Doran Park in Bourne. Here we're just guests.
This one sent up the middle, past the dive of the shortstop, Fosnot, running around third. Coming home to score is Vavra. RBI single for Michael Tolia. 4th run of the day for the Kettleers. 4-0.
And 4 consecutive singles for the Kettleers. Granted, 2 were on bunts. But they're hitting Jordan Britton out of, nowhere. He's getting rocked out there. You have to hope that he can improve his stuff in this outing. The off-speed pitches.
Now you just check the runner over at second, Duran. And now they're going to call it a balk. Steven Durantz, the umpire over there at second base, will call that a balk. And now the runners advance, so 2 more runners in scoring position. Miles Lewis heads to third, Michael Tolia to second base. And this inning falling apart for Wareham.
Well, they tried a hidden ball trick. I don't really know exactly what the rules are for the hidden ball trick and what makes it a balk and what doesn't, but crazy stuff going on here on Jordan Britton. He's not looking too hot on the mound right now. Off-speed stuff just has not been good at all.
Dillard is back at the plate, who hit a home run his first at bat. This one grounded right to Fosnot at short. They come home for the tag. The runner, Lewis, is out. That will be the 2nd out of the inning. Dillard reaches on the fielder's choice. So Lewis is out at home plate. But advancing to third base is Michael Tolia.
A smart play by Fosnot at shortstop, going home with that ball.
This inning has been one of the crazier ones of this season so far for the Wareham Gatemen. Luke Alexander is now at the plate. A check over on the runner at first. Dillard back safely. Franklin German is in the bullpen for the Wareham Gatemen. Runners at the corners. A 4-0 lead for Cotuit. They're still not done with 2 outs in the third. This pitch up and away for ball 1 at the at-bat to Luke Alexander, 1-0.
It just seems like Jordan Britton's lost control of his pitches. Now he's just firing fastballs down the middle.
1-0. Framed by Anchia just a bit outside. 2 balls and no strikes.
And that was a good slider from Jordan Britton. However, just misses the outside part of the plate. Has the right idea, though. But Luke Alexander could burn him on a breaking ball on the outside part of the plate if he does it again.
2-0. Up and in, 3 balls and no strikes.
And a lot of those breaking balls have ended up, in that area, at the neck or at the shoulders of the hitter. Just doesn't seem like his command is looking too good.
Britton's 3-0. Whoa! Way up for ball 4. And Chia got the glove on it. And Jim Lawler's going to come out, the pitching coach for the Wareham Gatemen, to talk to Jordan Britton, who walks his second batter of the inning and loads the bases. Wow, this has not been Wareham's best showing.
Assuming someone doesn't get thrown out on the base paths here, the Cotuit Kettleers have batted around here in the third inning. Chandler Avant being the 9th batter on Jordan Britton, and they've only scored 3 runs. That kind of just shows you how crazy of an inning it's been. Tough for Jordan Britton, tough situation for him to come in, but he's got to keep his composure here, get out of this inning at least, and go from there with Jim Lawler on the watch here on his Oregon State young stud. This is another kid who's come here and a chance to improve for him because, at Oregon State, you have to be a really good pitcher to get innings there. It's a top-notch program. You saw it this year, only 4 regular season losses.
Chandler Avant, the shortstop, will take strike 1 on a 78-mile-an-hour breaking ball. And Britton this past season at Oregon State, just 22 innings of work, a 2.46 ERA. So bases are loaded with a 4-0 lead for the Kettleers. Here comes the 0-1. Is fouled off of the home plate umpire, Jeff January. No balls and 2 strikes. Michael Tolia is the runner at third. Thomas Dillard at second. Luke Alexander is at first. He was just walked. 9th batter to face Britton here in the third. 0-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. Britton gets out of the inning with a strikeout. That strikeout brought to you by the law offices of Lang, Exafaris, and Bullard. But not before. The Cotuit Kettleers get 3 runs on 4 hits, no errors, and 3 men left aboard. It is Cotuit 4, Wareham 0. You're listening to Wareham Gatemen Baseball on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Urgent care is now available at 4 Cape Cod healthcare locations: Hyannis, Falmouth, Sandwich, and Harwich. Open after hours and weekends, staffed by ER physicians. Expert care when you need it. Learn more at capecodhealth.org/urgent-care. Earn a bachelor's or master's degree, complete a certificate, or take a single course through the Division of Continuing Education and Graduate Studies at Curry College. Classes run days, evenings, and weekends in Milton and Plymouth. To learn more about programs in business, criminal justice, education, nursing, and more, visit curry.edu.
The Wareham Gatemen and the visiting team, the Cape Cod Baseball League, and the NCAA promote good sportsmanship by student athletes, coaches, and spectators. We request your cooperation and positive support of the participants and officials. Profanity, racial or sexist comments, or other intimidating actions directed at officials, student athletes, coaches, or team representatives will not be tolerated and are grounds for removal from this ballpark.
Top of the 4th at Lowell Park. The Wareham Gatemen now trail 4-0. A disastrous bottom of the 3rd for Jordan Britton and the Wareham Gatemen. Jacob Toby with Sam Corman, John Topa, Blake Sable, Nate Foss not to face Jason Billis here. And the first pitch at the at-bat taken low and outside for ball 1.
Well, first time around, John Topla swung at 2 of those sliders tailing away on the outside part of the plate. He knows better now, this time against Jason Billis.
1-0 runs inside, 2 balls and no strikes. With Billis's numbers coming into today as well as Zavalis's, you would have thought Zavalis would be on the hill longer than Billis has, but it's been quite the opposite.
Well, we can't control an injury.
2-0, inside and low, 3 balls and no strikes.
And Billis just 1 ball away from his 6th walk, and the Gatemen only have 1 hit. Sometime they're going to have to take advantage of Jason Billis struggling on the mound. Here comes Mike Roberts.
Mike Roberts will come to the pitching mound with the hole in field. 3 balls and no strikes. Bullpen is active right now. They've got 2 arms throwing. Roberts may just be having a conversation with the hole in field, but he is notorious for buying time as he just looks back at the home plate umpire, Jeff January, and there will not be a change made. He will keep Billis in there.
Nice little football break right there with the clap. The whole team claps, and they break the huddle. I've never seen that, honestly, on the mound.
Cotuit has their history with certain things.
Such as their name.
Such as their name, such as their number of championships won, which is 16. Most in the Cape Cod Baseball League. Topa takes the 4-pitch walk. Number 6 for Jason Billis. So control an issue for Billis, but like you said, Sam, only 1 hit for the Wareham Gatemen. And now Ivan Gonzalez, the catcher, will go out to talk to Billis. We'll see what happens here. Jeff January, the home plate umpire, coming out, breaking up this conversation.
Well, Blake Sable's made some solid contact his last 2 times at the plate, or two out of his last 3. He reached on an error yesterday, but had that opposite field triple to the wall yesterday at Spillane, and now made good contact flying out to dead center, kind of whacking a Billis pitch just to the wrong part of the ballpark, and look who's back on the field.
Mike Roberts will come back out on the field. Like I said, notorious for buying time. So the catcher, Gonzalez, goes out to talk to his pitcher. Now Mike Roberts will go out and talk to the entire infield once more. There's an arm warming in the Cotuit bullpen. Second time in 3 pitches that Roberts has come out to the mound. And now they will make the pitching change here at Lowell Park. A 4-0 lead for the Cotuit Cavaliers. We'll take a break here on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Coca-Cola Bottling of Cape Cod thanks you for supporting the Cape Cod Baseball League and for refreshing yourself with ice-cold Coca-Cola products. Coca-Cola Bottling Company of Cape Cod employs more than 50 full-time employees and more than 25 seasonal. Every year, more than 15 college students get great experience and support their education by working at Coca-Cola Bottling of Cape Cod. Reward yourself. Have a Coke. Registration is now open for the 2017 Wareham Gatemen High School Clinics. These programs are run by the Gatemen coaching staff with a focus on exposing high school area players to the college game. To sign up for either the hitting, pitching, or catching camps, visit www.gatemen.org for more information. Don't miss a minute of this station's pre- and post-game sports talk. Tune in on your smartphone with the Next Radio app. It's live and it's local. Download the free Next Radio app from the Google Play Store today. Curry College offers 14 NCAA Division III athletic teams in sports such as football, baseball, softball, basketball, hockey, soccer, lacrosse, tennis, cross country, and volleyball. Read about the success of the Curry Colonels and their championship teams. It's all online at www.curry.edu. Visit Stars Restaurant at Chatham Bars Inn Resort and Spa for a world-class dining experience, a proud member of leading hotels of the world.
The Wareham Gatemen would like to thank Franklin Sports for their sponsorship of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Franklin is yet again proud to be the official batting glove of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Throughout the summer, all 10 Cape League teams are wearing their own custom team batting gloves, courtesy of Franklin Sports. To order your favorite team's design or to create your own, visit franklinsports.com/custom. Enter code CCBL20 for 20% off your purchase. From Cape Cod to the major leagues, only the best hitters in baseball wear Franklin gloves.
Jason Billis is done for the day. 3+ innings. 1 hit, no earned runs, 6 walks, and 3 Ks.
When was the last time a pitcher went 6 walks and didn't allow a run? Although that runner on first, being John Topa, belongs to him.
That it does, Sam Corman. And the new pitcher is Clark Cota. 0-2 on the year. This will be his 10th appearance all out of the pen. A 3.21 ERA, 20 strikeouts, 5 walks, and he will be facing Blake Sable.
Cota a 3.08 ERA at UNC Wilmington this season. That fastball can hit 97 miles an hour. Also has a power curve and a changeup as well.
Righty delivers the first pitch to Blake Sable, low and away, ball 1.
That power curve, meaning it's a curveball, but he likes to throw it hard. Will run in the low 80s, mid 80s, and that can sometimes be deceiving for a hitter.
Sable flew out to center field, making good contact his first time up. 1-0 is low. 2 balls and no strikes. John Topa is at first base. He led off the inning with a walk. Wareham trails this ball game right now 4-0 to these Cotuit Cavaliers, who sit 2 points ahead of them in the standings at third place. 2-0 pitch is delivered in for a strike on the fastball.
Only 90 on this Coda fastball. I'm a little bit underwhelmed, I have to say. Maybe he's going easy on these guys for now. Maybe he'll pick it up later in the outing. 2-1 this year at UNC Wilmington was Coda.
And the 2-1 count to Sable becomes 2-2. And Coda is described as a guy that is a bullpen pitcher, but here on the Cape he's getting starter rest because of how hard he actually throws.
I mean, that's interesting considering the starters. I mean that doesn't surprise me that much, though.
Runner goes, the 2-2 pitch, swung on and missed. Thrown down to second is not in time. Topa gets the stolen base, but Blake Sable strikes out for the first out of the 4th inning here at Lowell Park, a 4-0 lead for Cotuit.
Tough pitch for Blake Sable right down inside part of the plate. And how about John Topa getting a stolen base, getting in on the action for the Gatemen Speedsters? Stand-up stolen base nonetheless.
Nate Fosnot, the batter from the right side, takes a breaking ball a bit high, 1-0.
That was a swooping breaking ball from Clark Coda. In the scouting report I got it was a power curve, mid-80s, but that one 76 looked like the complete opposite of a power curve.
That was Topa's 3rd stolen base of the season. The 1-0, sent on a line to right field, waiting for it is Conine, makes the catch, no tag from Topa at second base. So Fosnot retired for out number 2. Nick Angelini will come up. He walked back in that 2nd inning. One of 6 walks tonight from Jason Billis.
I mean, I don't know how the Gatemen are scoreless in this game right now when a pitcher walks 6 batters in 3+ innings. Just asking, yo, can you score?
Angelini from the right side, breaking ball low, 1-0. Well, yesterday in the 7-4 loss versus the Harbor Hawks, the Gatemen pitching staff committed 6 walks for the first time this season.
And the Harbor Hawks capitalized on it. I mean, they scored 7 runs only on 10 hits, but not, I mean, the walks certainly added to their run total for sure.
Second pitch at the at-bat taken for strike, 1-1. They did have 7 hits. 7 runs on 7 hits, the Harbor Hawks.
Speaking of the Harbor Hawks, they're out to a flying start. Top half of the first, they score against Falmouth, 1-0.
1 ball and 1 strike to Angelini with 2 outs. A 4-0 lead for Cotuit. Swing and a miss from Angelini. And like I said, 6 walks for the first time this season for Wareham as a pitching staff. I mean, 6 walks today from Billis alone.
Yeah, and this is a big moment for Angelini in the batter's box right now. You have a runner in scoring position. You're down by 4 runs. Your team only has 1 hit. You really like to drive in Topa here with 2 out.
1-2. Just got a piece of it. Fouled it off to the left behind home plate. The Gatemen pitching staff has walked 5 batters twice this season. On the 2nd game of the season at Harwich, and then on July 9th versus Yarmouth Dennis.
That July 9th game was the game that the Gatemen almost got no hit.
1-2, foul back, and staying alive is Angelini at the plate. A game that Griffin Roberts pitched in.
Yeah, I mean, he was phenomenal, but even more phenomenal was Hogan Harris in that game.
The former Wareham Gateman.
Yes. And
sticking it to
the
his old team.
The Gatemen almost got no hit and went to extra innings in that game.
1-2 pitch. Outside, ball gets away from the catcher, Gonzalez. He doesn't know where it is. Topa advances to third. And Gonzalez finally corrals it, throws it back to Coda on the mound. So now a runner 90 feet away for Nick Angelini with 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2 outs in the inning. And the Gatemen trailing 4-0 to the Kettleers. 2-2 pitch is fouled off once more. Angelini with a nice at-bat here versus Clark Coda. Topa led off the inning with a walk. He then stole a base and advances on the pass ball. 2-2 pitch to Angelini. Fouled off to the right. So staying alive is Nick Angelini.
Pitch number 9 in this at-bat coming up from Clark Coda. And just extending his pitch count as much as possible for Angelini, looking for a good pitch to hit to drive in Topa.
2-2 pitch. And whiffing at it was Angelini. He was fooled on the breaking ball. And the Wareham Gatemen, they cannot score. No runs, no hits, no errors. One man left aboard. We head to the bottom of the 4th. It is Cotuit 4, Wareham nothing. You're listening to Wareham Gatemen Baseball on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Do you know what that sound is? That's your new digital marketing department. And that'll be your new web designer. And that's Haibu, where these experts are joined by many more, from web designers to search marketing specialists who work hard to get your business noticed online and on mobile. Best of all, Haibu can do it all for you, or give you the tools to do it yourself. To find out more, go to haibu.com. That's HIBU.com, or call 855-464-HIBU. Oh, that'll be your next new customer. Haibu, made for business.
Red Shirt Fridays is a national program created to acknowledge, honor, and support our troops who put themselves in harm's way to defend our freedom. In support of this program, the Cape League teams will be wearing a specially designed red jersey every Friday. This special weekly celebration of Red Shirt Fridays is sponsored by 47 Brand, HP Hood, Cape Cod Regional Transit Authority, Advanced Embroidery, and the Cape League. Support our troops and join us by wearing red each Friday.
Back at Lowell Park, a 4-0 lead for the Kettleers. Jacob Toby along with Sam Corman. Claudia Chikamian, our sideline reporter, also on hand as well. Ivan Gonzalez will lead it off for these Kettleers against Jordan Britton, and Britton's first pitch sails in for strike 1. Wareham still no runs in this ball game. Just one hit through 3 innings. Through 4 innings, I should say. Pitch up high, 1-1.
And Ivan Gonzalez led off that 3rd inning with a walk, and after that, it was rough sailing for Jordan Britton in his first full inning.
1-1 is fouled off down the left field line into the trees. It's fouled off.
Way into the trees, right there. Unfortunately, not the right trees. If it was, 320 feet out to left, then it might have been in the correct trees. But not finding the correct trees.
Britton winds, kicks, and delivers the 1-2. It bounces to the plate. We've seen a lot of those bouncing balls from Britton.
Yeah, a lot of breaking balls bouncing in the dirt, a lot of breaking balls hanging up high at the shoulders. Not many breaking balls in that little strike zone, especially on a little guy like Ivan Gonzalez with a very bent stance.
2-2, right up the middle, ricochets off the mound right to Jaron Duran at second base, and he makes the play to retire Gonzalez. How do you like that?
Did that hit the foot of Jordan Britton? Nice little kickball action.
I thought it hit the mound. We're getting confirmation that it hit his actual foot. We'll have to ask him about that. That was pretty close. Connor Federico thinks it's hit his foot.
Connor Federico is 100% positive that Jordan Britton horse-kicked it to Jaron Duran, making that a 1-4-3.
Griffin Conine takes ball 1. We'll have to see what the official scorer rules it. If it is a 1-4-3. And it is a 1-4-3. Nicely done, Connor Federico. Second pitch at the at-bat. Bounces to the plate. to Conine. 2 balls and no strikes.
Can't forget that he used to be an umpire as well. Connor Federico used to be an umpire somewhere, maybe Little League.
Here comes the 2-0 pitch to Conine. Fights it off foul to the left. Conine, of course, his dad Jeff, a 2-time Major League All-Star, 17 MLB seasons. The son of an MLB All-Star, that's pretty cool. 2-1 again, bouncing to the backstop. 3 balls and 1 strike.
That is cool. And now Jeff got to come up here to come to Spillane to watch his son Griffin at the All-Star game in Wareham on Saturday. No surprise that Griffin Conine was
3-1 on the ground, past the dive of both the first and second baseman on the right side for the Gatemen. Conine on for his second single of the day. Yeah, Conine won the MVP for the West. Jimmy Herron winning it for the East. The 2 Duke Blue Devils. And it's funny that Conine's playing for head coach Mike Roberts, because Brian Roberts, the son of Cotuit's Mike Roberts, was an MLB player as well, an infielder, most notably for the Baltimore Orioles. And they've got a connection as Genesta swings on the first pitch, nubs it to the third baseman Kasser, only plays at first, and now he won't even make the play. No throw made from Kyle Kasser, and Genesta reaches with 1 out in the inning, 2 runners on.
not much you can do about these last 2 hits. Both sharp ground balls through the right spots in the infield. Kyle Kasser makes a nice play moving to his left, but he's unable to throw across his body in time because Genesta has some blazing speed down the line. Not only does he have that home run hitting contest power here on the Cape.
Taryn Vavra, the second baseman, singled and scored, and this one is fouled off right on top of the Cotuit dugout. Just hit the top and bounced in.
Yeah, watch out, Michael Tolia, who's in the hole right now and almost got nailed by that foul ball. Luckily, he had his helmet on.
So a runner on second, runner on first. 0-1 is up in the sky out to center field. Stephen Kwan, way back there, almost at the fence, makes the catch, guns it home quickly. No runners advancing, so F8 in your scorebooks for Vavra. But yeah, Brian Roberts, the son of Mike Roberts, was trying to break into the Orioles system in 2001. And Jeff Conine was on that team as a seasoned veteran and kind of took Roberts under his wing a bit, showed him the MLB way. And Brian was a bit nervous and quiet, not your typical major league rookie, Brian Roberts.
Ended up with a phenomenal career with Baltimore. He was there.
Miles Lewis, his first pitch he sees, bounces off the chest of Anchia. Both runners advance. So now Griffin Conine at third. Grayson Genesta is at second with 2 outs for Miles Lewis, who's 1 for 2 on the day.
But during a lot of rough years for the Baltimore Orioles back in the mid-2000s, early 2000s, Brian Roberts was the go-to guy for fans and buying jerseys and whatnot. It was always Brian Roberts' name on the back.
Second pitch at the at-bat, fouled off to the right. 1 ball and 1 strike. And Jeff Conine always took him out to dinner, paid for his meals, taught him what veterans do with the young guys. That's what Mike Roberts was saying about him. So a history here between the Roberts and the Conine family. You mentioned Jeff Conine coming to Spillane Field to see his son in the All-Star game. This one fouled off in the box by Lewis. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
That foul ball gets a piece of Anchia, and he's shaking up a little bit, but walking it off, he appears to be okay.
Hits him on the lower back area. He'll take off the mask and scratch his head with his helmet for a moment. 1 ball and 2 strikes to the batter Lewis. Runners at second and third with 2 outs. Bottom of the fourth, a 4-0 lead for Cotuit over the Wareham Gatemen. Britton's 1-2. Breaking ball framed by Anchia, just a tad bit inside.
That breaking ball still not finding the strike zone from Jordan Britton. Kind of all over the place, outside, inside, high, low, you name it.
2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs. Here comes the pitch from Britton. It's outside. Lewis thought about going around, but he held up.
Jordan Britton currently sitting 48 pitches, 24 balls, 24 strikes.
Full count here to Lewis. Payoff pitch is swung on and missed. Nice job there from Jordan Britton. The pitch was down and in, and it gets Lewis swinging to end the inning. That strikeout brought to you by the law offices of Lang, Exafaris, and Bullard. No runs on 2 hits, no errors, and 2 men left aboard. We head to the 5th. It's a 4-0 lead for the Kettleers over the Gatemen. Wareham Gatemen Baseball on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
The Fuller Family Foundation is proud to support the excellent sportsmanship and character of the Cape Cod Baseball League.
The Sacred Cod Tavern at Chatham Bars Inn Resort and Spa, a quintessential New England dining experience for lunch or dinner, a proud member of leading hotels of the world.
Back at Lowell Park, top of the 5th, 4-0. Cotuit over Wareham. Jacob Toby along with Sam Corman. And the top of the order, Stephen Kwan, set to check in. Bat from the left side shows bunt, but he pulls it back. That one down and away. 1 ball and no strikes. Cotuit 4 runs on 8 hits. And Wareham, no runs on just 1 hit. The 1-0 taken outside, 2 balls and no strikes.
And the Gatemen have left 6 on base today because of the walks from Jason Billis.
The 2-0 delivered outside, 3 balls and no strikes. Gonzalez, the catcher, nodding at his pitcher, Clark Cota, who came in after walking John Topa. Jason Billis walking Topa. 3-0 is taken for strike 1.
That fastball at the ankles of Stephen Kwan. A lot of downward motion on that fastball. That might be what convinced Jeff January that was a strike.
Back-to-back strikes thrown after 3 straight balls from Clark Cota. Now the count runs full. Kwan is 1 for 2 on the day. He singled in the first, was caught in the pickle, then struck out looking to end the second. And now time called at the plate as Kwan takes a moment. Beautiful night for baseball at Lowell Park. Perfect temperature for baseball. Not too hot, not too cold. Here comes the 3-2 on the ground through the 6 hole and in for a base hit. Kwan doing what he was brought here to do, and that's get on base. Gatemen have their leadoff hitter on with no outs in the top of the 5th.
Yeah, now that you mention it, it is ridiculous outside. I feel like I'm just, in like default weather. It just feels like
I don't need a jacket. There's a bit of a breeze, but it's still sort of hot, and there's sun out, no clouds.
Sun's not going to be out for long, though. I mean, it's going behind that tree line.
Stephen Kwan has both hits for the Wareham Gatemen.
Another multi-hit game for him.
Kasser from the left side takes ball 1, 1-0.
I believe that's multi-hit game number 9 for Stephen Kwan this season.
1-0 pitch to Kasser is chopped down the third baseline foul. It hits the fence out there. A lot of fans sit down the third baseline. There's a lot of room between the actual line and the fence. The foul territory is very big over there.
Plenty of room for Miles Lewis and John Topa to chase down foul ball pop-ups.
1-1 from Cota is swung and hit foul to the left and out of play, and a lot of room for third base coach Jimmy Francos for Wareham, just strolling out there in his spot.
He's in his own little field out there.
He's got a lot of room to move if he sees a foul ball coming his way. Runner on first is Kwan. No outs, top 5 here at Lowell Park. This one chip foul down the first baseline just in front of the Wareham dugout. A 4-0 lead for the Cotuit Kettleers. Last time these teams played at Lowell Park, it was a 1-0 shutout in favor of the Gatemen. Cotuit working on a shutout of their own versus these Wareham Gatemen. 1-2 up the middle and takes a nasty hop on the shortstop. They couldn't do anything with the baseball after that one. And it's first and second with no outs for Wareham.
And they call in an error on the shortstop, Chandler Avant. Tough play for him, though. Really tough bounce. Already in a tough spot right up the middle, moving hard to his left, trying to turn that first leg of his what would have been a 6-4 3-double play. But, you know, really tough play, tough error there for Chandler Avant. And now the Gatemen, biggest opportunity of the day. 2 men on, nobody out.
Willie McIver will take strike 1. He is 0 for 2, struck out swinging in the first, flew out to left field in the third. 2 runners on, no outs for the Gatemen. They trail 4-0. A breaking ball swung on and missed. 0-2. So Cotuit now 5 errors combined yesterday and today so far. Oh, 2 pitch to McIver. A hanging breaking ball sent to center. Genista under it. Makes the catch. No tag advancement from Kwan. That is out number 1.
And McIver catches that breaking ball a little bit more towards, you know, the handle of the bat than he would have liked to. It would have, if he caught that on the barrel, he might have had a nice shot to the gap left center, but instead a little bit on the inside part of the bat, and because of that, it's a slow, short fly ball right to the center fielder, Grayson Genista.
Jaron Duran, who walked back in the third. Stepping to the plate from the left side. Good opportunity here for Jaron Duran, who takes a pitch outside for ball 1.
Well, these are the kind of opportunities you get when you're in the cleanup hole, and Jaron Duran moving up into that spot today for the first time this season. And hopefully he's looking to capitalize with a runner in scoring position, also another runner on first.
Kwan at second, Kasser at first. Duran at the plate takes strike 1. One ball and 1 strike to Duran with 1 out. Gatemen trying to muster their first run of the day. They trail 4-0. Breaking ball inside.
Jaron Duran's so good at detecting pitches off the plate. That one just barely inside. Looked like an enticing pitch from here to swing at if you're Duran. That pitch, breaking ball in a nice spot, just a little bit inside.
2-1 pitch. Fastball for strike two. Again, Wareham just 2 hits tonight, both coming from Stephen Kwan. One in the first inning, one here in the fifth. A tough day for Wareham's offense after losing starter Noah Zavalis due to injury. 2-2 sent foul directly to the fence behind home plate.
And I mean, that injury will affect the entire pitching staff throughout this entire game, of course, and maybe into tomorrow. You never know what's going to pan out here for the rest of this Gatemen pitching. I mean, Jordan Britton, you have to wonder when he's set to come out of the game. He had a solid comeback inning after a pretty rough third.
2-2 pitch to Duran. He slings it foul. And watch out if you're sitting in those seats. It was in that area where the fence is low down the left field line. And now I believe that someone got hit. Jimmy Francos, the third base coach, going over, and they're calling for someone right now.
Yeah, I mean, that ball just barely made it over the fence. And when that happens, you really have to wonder, because people sitting right there at the fence in their chairs. And that was well hit by Duran. Just foul. I mean, you got to hope that everyone's okay over there.
Jimmy Francos walking back over. Hopefully the person's okay. Hopefully they're just shooken up a bit. Nothing too serious. Situation still stands. 2 runners on, 1 out. Jaron Duran at the plate. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here comes the pitch. Breaking ball. Swung on and hit up in the air. Down the left field line. Coming over is the shortstop. Avant makes the catch. Retires Duran for out number 2.
And Duran just gets under that breaking ball a little bit, jams him on the inside part of the plate, and he pops it up the other way. Big out for Clark Cota. Gatemen still trying to put these runners across with runners in scoring position. I mean, right now, today, the Gatemen are 0 for 4 with runners in scoring position, so trying to improve on that. Actually, 0 for 5, excuse me.
Anchia takes ball 1. A breaking pitch did not break in. 1-0. One-0 to Anchia. Frame for strike 1 at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike. Talk about the rotation being a little bit jumbled for today and tomorrow. Montgomery will start tomorrow. Now the lone ace on this staff with Roberts leaving. Cota's 1-1, a high riser, misses.
Not a bad ace to have, a guy that started the All-Star game for the West Division. He's been one of the biggest surprises across the whole Cape this year, for sure. He was on the cover of the All-Star game program. Pretty cool to see that.
Some nice memorabilia.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure he's going to remember that.
2-1, just missing outside. Anchia taking that pitch, a 91-mile-an-hour fastball. 3 balls and 1 strike with 2 outs. Quan at second, Kasser at first. Wareham trails Cotuit 4-0. Cota's 3-1. Up and in, turning away from it was Anchia. He'll go down to first. And now the bases are loaded for John Topa.
John Topa hasn't had a big hit in a while, and he's looking to change that against Clark Cota right now. I mean, Topa's a guy that was an all-star, had an average above 300 up until the game Sunday against YD, and then all of a sudden it's dropped to about 290 at this point.
Topa bats from the right side, takes strike 1, and the shadows starting to roll in here at Lowell Park. Have taken up most of the left side of the infield as well as home plate and the pitching mound. First base also covered. 0-1, up high. So the only player that really has sun in his eyes is the second baseman, Taran Vavra. And maybe the first baseman, Michael Tolia, if he backs up a couple feet, but right now he's in the shadows, playing behind the runner at first in Jake Anchia. 1-1 is a fastball missing away.
And good patience from John Topa in this at-bat so far. Taking all 3 pitches, one being a strike.
Gonzalez will go out to talk to Clark Cota. What could they be talking about here?
Well, just tell him to throw strikes. You got 2 outs in the inning. Right now, the Gatemen haven't been hitting anything. So, just keep the ball in the strike zone, because right now, Wareham is not taking advantage of good pitches in good parts of the plate. Right now, they're just kind of walking around the bases, taking pitches outside of the strike zone, working walks. That was the 7th walk just now to Anchia.
2-1 is up tight and in to John Topa, who is 0 for 1. Grounded out to the shortstop Avant in the second. Walked and stole a base back in the 4th.
4-run ball game for John Topa, 3-1 count. You wonder what he's thinking here.
Bases are loaded with 2 outs. Here comes the 3-1 to Topa. It is taken for strike 2, and Topa was on his way to first base.
January likes to call that strike on the low part of the plate. I've noticed that all day, but he has been consistent with it. And they've all been down at that ankle area, but they've all been called strikes today. Both sides all around, but John Topa disappointed at that one.
Bases loaded, 3-2 pitch with 2 outs. Runners go. This one is caught by the first baseman. Tolia flips on to first, and he's out. A close play at first base. Bang, bang. Topa is out. Fantastic play from Tolia to snag it from the ground and flip over to his pitcher, Cota, to end the inning. The Wareham Gatemen still cannot score. They still trail it 4-0. You're listening to Wareham Gatemen Baseball on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Coca-Cola Bottling of Cape Cod thanks you for supporting the Cape Cod Baseball League and for refreshing yourself with ice-cold Coca-Cola products. We are proud supporters of the CCBBL as well as many other wonderful Cape Cod organizations that serve our community. The Wareham Gatemen would like to thank Mr. Brian Clue and SmartGo Services LLC located in Taunton, Massachusetts for being the official sponsors of the Gatemen Player Development Program. The Player Development Program aims to improve both the players' and interns' skills and prepares them for a career in professional baseball. Again, a sincere thank you to Mr. Brian Clue and SmartGo Services. Visit Stars Restaurant at Chatham Bars Inn Resort and Spa for a world-class dining experience, a proud member of leading hotels of the world. Still no runs for the Wareham Gatemen at Lowell Park. They trail 4-0 to these Cotuit Cavaliers. Jacob Toby along with Sam Corman. It's been a tough day for the offense.
Yeah, only 2 hits for Wareham today, both off the bat of Stephen Kwan. John Topa puts a really good at-bat together to end that inning, gets the the ball on the ground opposite field, but a really good play moving to his right by Michael Tolia, and then gets over to his pitcher just in time. And a interesting call over there at first base. Don Snedden, after the break, went out there and was not happy at all with the call from today's first base umpire, Edward McAvin. And, I mean,
not much to say about that.
I'm gonna talk to Topa after the game and ask him what his opinion was, because he had the best view, obviously, looking down at the bag.
Franklin German is the pitcher on for the Gatemen. This one snagged by Duran on to first. 1 pitch, 1 out. Tolia is retired on 4-3. But German is the new pitcher out of North Florida. 6'2", 195 pounds. The right-hander out of Tampa, Florida. And on the season with the Wareham Gatemen, German is making his 9th appearance at 2 ERA. 9 innings pitched, 12 strikeouts to 2 walks. First pitch at the at-bat to Thomas Dillard is outside for ball 1. Dillard 1 for 2 on the day with the solo shot back in the second.
They call him the Germinator.
Do they? 1-0 popped up out to shallow left field. Coming over is Fosnot, the shortstop. He makes the catch for out number 2. 2 quick outs here for Frank German.
For the Germinator.
I will refrain from using that, except in dire circumstances. Perhaps.
Now, this is an important outing for Frank German. He didn't have a great one last time he pitched, nor did the entire Gatemen pitching staff that day, but a chance to rebound here, a chance to get a few innings in, and also a chance to keep your Gatemen in the game, only down by 4.
Luke Alexander takes ball 1. Alexander may have a hit in this ball game if it wasn't for Kyle Kasser over there at third base, robbing him back in the second inning.
His defense has been stellar all season.
1-0 from German, taken for strike 1. One pitch is cut on and missed by Alexander. 1 ball and 2 strikes, 2 quick outs here in the bottom of the 5th. Wareham trailing 4-0 to the Kettleers. Division rivals. 1-2 pitch is jacked foul off to the right.
Well, Frank German getting ahead in the counts quickly here in the 5th, and this is what the Gatemen needed after a tough top half of the 5th inning in which they almost scored but were unable to. They need to get back out there quickly.
1-2 from German. Swung on in, missed, and a 1-2-3 inning for the Germinator. That strikeout brought to you by the law offices of Lang, Exafaris, and Bullard. No runs, no hits, no errors, no men left on. 4-0 lead for the Kettleers. You're listening to Wareham Gatemen Baseball on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Coca-Cola Bottling of Cape Cod thanks you for supporting the Cape Cod Baseball League and for refreshing yourself with ice-cold Coca-Cola products. Coca-Cola Bottling Company of Cape Cod employs more than 50 full-time employees and more than 25 seasonal. Every year, more than 15 college students get great experience and support their education by working at Coca-Cola Bottling of Cape Cod. Reward yourself. Have a Coke.
Welcome back to the Gatemen Baseball Network. I'm Claudia Chikamian. So, Gatemen offense is really struggling. It's something that Jacob and Sam have both been talking about throughout this game. That's something I talked to head coach Don Snedden about. This is a different lineup than what we're used to seeing. I asked him his opinions on it. He said he's not too happy with it. Big factor in this is not having Tristan Pompey and Tanner Dotson in this lineup. He says he doesn't know what the outcome is going to be on Tanner Dotson or on Tristan Pompey's injury, but he's hoping he can get him back in a DH, and it's not going to be a home situation for him. So we're hoping to get him back in the lineup soon. As far as Tanner Dotson, he has a bit of an injury, and he's going to be pitching tomorrow from the bullpen, so we're not too sure if he'll be hitting tomorrow. And these are two guys the Gatemen really need. As we've seen today in this game, only 2 hits for the Gatemen. They've gotten on base with those 6 walks from that first pitcher, but if they're not getting those hits, they're not going to score, and that's exactly what the Gatemen need. They need that run support, so they need these guys who are not your typical starters to cut into this game and score these runs, and that's all we need to do. You can't just rely on Pompey and Dotson. So we just have to see what can happen, and we'll hope these guys can recover from these injuries and get back in the lineup soon. Back to you, Jacob.
That's true. Thank you very much, Claudia. Tristan Pompey, no one really knows what's going on with that injury right now. We'll try to keep tabs on that one as we're back here at Lowell Park. Top 6 with the Wareham Gatemen and the Cotuit Cavaliers. Gatemen are scoreless. They are being held scoreless 4-0. A new pitcher on the hill, the infamous Zane Collins for the Cotuit Cavaliers.
I don't think he'll be throwing 120 pitches today for Cotuit, considering he's coming in the 6th. But that was what the case was last time against the Gatemen. He threw a complete game for Cotuit and threw 118 pitches, I believe, against Wareham. One of the craziest games we've seen this year, and Zane Collins has shut down this lineup once before, and he's going to try to do it again.
117 to be correct.
Ugh, one off.
9 innings, 6 hits, no earned runs, 8 strikeouts and 1 walk. Zane Collins was spectacular. It is Blake Sable, Nate Fosnot, Nick Angelini to step in to face the lefty. And Sable shows bunt, pulls it back, and takes ball 1. Collins on the season, 4-2 with a 2.13 ERA, making his 10th appearance. 25 1/3 innings, 21 strikeouts, 7 walks as the second pitch taken for strike 1. And fun fact about Zane Collins, I mentioned I know the bullpen catcher Danny Crossan for the Cotuit Cavaliers. Well, he hosts Zane Collins at his house. 1-1, chopped in the infield, back to Collins, spins, throws on to first. Tough throw, but making the catch was Tolia at first and retires Sable.
And the Gatemen need to get a runner on early in this inning. They're running out of outs here in the 6th, and they're down by 4. They have by no means been outplayed. It's just a tough inning, and your starter gets knocked out via injury.
Bunting it down the third baseline is Nate Fosnot. There will be no throw made from the catcher Gonzalez, and it's going to be a foul ball.
Just barely rolls foul over that third baseline. But, Fosnot trying to lay out a bunt. He has some speed as well.
Fosnot 0 for 1 in this ball game. He walked in the second. 1 of 6 walks from Jason Billis, the starter. He flew out to right field in the 4th. Swings on this pitch, sends it down the first base line. Tolia will run it over himself. He tags the bag for a 3 unassisted. It just doesn't seem like the Gatemen offense has had life the past 3 or 4 games.
Certainly not. Walks have been the only real means of getting runners on base today. Only 2 hits, both from the leadoff guy, and it just doesn't seem like the big bats that have been carrying them throughout this season have really been carrying them any longer, and they need some other guys to step up.
Angelini fouls the first pitch he sees off right back to the fence behind home plate, just in front of us to our left. Shadows now have overtaken the left side of the infield completely. Shadows here at Lowell Park. The 0-1 pitch to Angelini's up around the head area. He ducks, gets out of the way. Wake up.
Well, Nick Angelini is a guy you like to see get on base because he's had a lot of at-bats recently compared to like last week or the week before, but hasn't been able to get himself on base too many times.
Time was called when pitcher Collins was about to deliver his pitch, but he gets Angelini to check, swing, and miss on the second attempt. on throwing it home. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 2 quick outs here in the 6th inning with Cotuit leading Wareham 4-0. Collins, 1-2 pitch. Framed for a called strike 3. The Gatemen, they still can't score. 1-2-3 they go in the top of the 6th. And we're headed to the bottom. A 4-0 lead for Cotuit. You're listening to Wareham Gatemen Baseball on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Did you know that Baseball Factory has partnered with the Cape League for the past 17 seasons? Baseball Factory is your resource for top-notch baseball training. With over 600 events nationwide for players age 8 to 18 and over 100,000 college success stories, you too can build your way to greatness with Baseball Factory. Visit baseballfactory.com to learn more. Earn a bachelor's or master's degree, complete a certificate, or take a single course through the Division of Continuing Education and Graduate Studies at Curry College. Classes run days, evenings, and weekends in Milton and Plymouth. To learn more about programs in business, criminal justice, education, nursing, and more, visit curry.edu.
The 99 Restaurants has 9 real-size entrees for only $9.99. They're big, hearty portions you can count on all day, every day, like their hand-breaded crispy fish tacos with cilantro lime rice. The 99 Restaurants, proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League.
A long night for the Wareham Gatemen. Bottom of the 6th at Lowell Park in Cotuit, Massachusetts. Glad to bring you this game here on the Gatemen Baseball Network. Jacob Toby along with Sam Corman, our producer on the soundboard tonight, Matt Weasel there. And our sideline reporter, Claudia Chakamian. Franklin German fires in the first pitch strike to Chandler Avant.
Matt Weasel.
It is Avant, Gonzalez, and Conine in this inning.
Matt Weasel was a king on the soundboard.
Second pitch at the at-bat, swung on and missed, 0-2.
King of the soundboard, Matt Weasel there. Safe to call him that, I feel like, at this point of the season.
0-2 pitch from German is bouncing to the plate. Nice block from Anchia. I think there's a concert going on down the left field line.
There's some a cappella in the crowd. I guess the fans were sick of the baseball, so they decided to watch some singing instead.
Sick of the winning. A 1-2 is whiffed at and missed. Avant goes down swinging. And that strikeout brought to you by the law offices of Lang, Exafaris, and Bullard. He gone.
He gone. Hawk
See ya.
Harrelson right there.
Yeah, it's a little Hawk Harrelson.
Chicago White Sox broadcaster, of course.
First pitch is taken low from Gonzalez, who grounded into a 1-for-3 put out in that 4th inning. One where it hit off the leg of Britton. The second pitch taken low. 2 balls and no strikes to Gonzalez, who also walked and scored back in the 3rd. German delivers the 2-0 low, bouncing to the plate, swooped up by Anchia with the left hand. 3 balls and no strikes. German sets and delivers the 3-0, and no pitch was close in that at bat. 4-pitch walk taken for Ivan Gonzalez, the catcher, so his 2nd walk of the day. And up comes a dangerous Griffin Conine.
That's not too alarming for Frank German, just one little lapse in his game so far. What could be alarming is after this at-bat, if something goes wrong, then you put 2 consecutive on. Lots of dogs at the park tonight.
Including your own, as Conine takes ball 1.
Yes, they're so cute, as there's one now here.
Was it bring your dog to the ballpark night? Every night, they say, here at Lowell Park. And Chia going out to talk to his pitcher, German, about one thing or another. We'll get a score update from Connor Federico in the middle of this inning. He's preparing right now.
Looks like he's already prepared.
But the scores never stop. It's always happens when we're just about to go on the air with the score update that a team will score and you have to change your update completely, especially if it's a score change in the game between teams. The 1-0 from German, a big swing and miss from Cotuit on a breaking pitch.
Really good 81-mile-an-hour slider from Frank German coming on the inside part of the plate, keeping the ball away from the outside part against a really dangerous Griffin Cotuit.
Cotuit will step out of the batter's box. Over the last 11 games, Cotuit is 3-8 and has scored over 4 runs just 3 times. And in their 12th game in that stretch, they score 4 runs right now. Cotuit delivers this one to center field, and it drops for a base hit. First and second now for the Kettleers with 1 out in the 6th. But during that stretch, that 11-game stretch, the pitching staff has limited its opponent to 4 runs or less 6 times, but it's just 3-3 in those games where they have limited those opponents to 4 runs. But they get the 4 runs, the offense does, here at Lowell Park versus the Wareham Gatemen, and they've had success today. Grayson Genista, the center fielder, who's 2 for 3 on the day with a run scored, a couple singles. First and second with 1 out in the inning. German fires in a pitch that just is a bit low, 1-0.
Now you start to maybe wonder about Frank German. Maybe he's kind of running out there on the mound. He hasn't had too many long outings. And right now in this situation, you ask him to go a few more innings than usual.
1-0 is inside, a slider missing, 2 balls and no strikes. Actually ate dinner last night with Frank German at the dinner table.
Oh, at BB's.
At BB's with also Blake Sable, Robbie Metz. Believe Angelini as well, can't remember.
Frank German is undoubtedly one of the greatest characters on this Gatemen roster.
Confirmed. That pitch missing low, 3 balls and no strikes. I can confirm.
Lots of bullpen pitchers having a lot of fun this summer on the Cape. Frank German being one of them. Grant Wolfram. Wolfie. Just a great guy to be around.
And of course, Brett Canine.
Yes, he is certainly a character.
3-0 on the outside part, 4 strike 1. Genesis struck out in the first, singled and scored in the third, singled and was held at second base in the 4th. One of 2 runners left on base in that 4th inning. German from the stretch. Here comes his 3-1. Delivered home, strike 2. Fastball 94.
That might have some two-seam action on it from Frank German. I saw that ball tail in towards the middle part of the plate at the last second. Really good pitch there from German at 94 miles an hour. If he can repeat that, he might be able to K Grayson Genista right now.
3-2 pitch is popped up out to left center field. Ranging over is Quan to his right, and he makes the catch. Calls off John Topa in left and retires Genista for out number 2. Loud pop of the bat, but a fly out for Genista.
A good breaking ball from German. Gets Genista to get under a little bit and has his second out, a much-needed second out of the 6th inning. But he needs the Gatemen hitters to come alive here. The pitching's been really good ever since that really disastrous 3rd inning, in which a lot of crazy things happened.
Taron Vavra takes a pitch outside for ball 1. Vavra struck out in the first, bunted for that single in the 3rd. That's where Jordan Britton reached out and couldn't make the catch. Then flew out to center field in the 4th. Caught on a miss from Vavra. 1 ball and 1 strike with 2 outs here in the bottom half of the 6th inning. 2 runners on, and a 4-0 lead for the Kettleers. They are hoping it is Kettle yes tonight.
A famous call from Connor Federico last time at Cotuit. Kettle no.
Kettle no. 1-1 pitch is inside. 2 balls and 1 strike. We all have some of those calls that we hear every single day because they're on the pregame intro. That'll live on in the Wareham Gatemen history books forever.
He doesn't handle the baseball. The run scores.
2-1 pitch is sent on the line to the the shortstop. Fosnot flips to second and retires Conine on the base paths for out number 3. That will end the inning. We are headed to the 7th. Not before Connor Federico gives us a score update. What you got, buddy?
Thank you very much, Jacob. Not Kettle no tonight. It's more like Kettle ho for these Kettleers. 4-0 at Lowell Park. Jacob and Sam have been taking you through the action, but some East Division battles. The Chatham Anglers have taken a 7-4 lead over the Brewster Whitecaps. That's a game that's also between the 3rd and 4th place teams in the Eastern Division. That one is in the top of the 8th from Stony Brook Field. In the bottom of the 8th, in Yarmouth Tennis, the Harwich Mariners trying to snap their own 9-game losing streak and YD's 9-game winning streak at 6-4 in favor of Harwich. And now moving to a battle between first place teams, the Orleans Firebirds representing the East. They have 2 runs. They had RBI doubles from Austin Hale and Stephen Scott. The Bourne Braves playing at home. Their only run came on a Grant Williams RBI single in the bottom of the 1st. And finally, in the bottom of the 5th, the Falmouth Commodores hold a 3-1 lead over the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. That's a game that the Gatemen would like to see both teams lose, but that's not an option in baseball. One of them has to win, and right now it's really been a show for George Yanka and Marty Bakina. Bakina had a 2-run homer back in the 3rd inning. Again, 3-1 Falmouth going into the top of the 6th. Coming up, that one is from Gov Fuller Field. For more action for Lowell Park in Cotuit, Jacob Toby, Sam Corman.
Thank you very much, Connor Federico. We'll hear from you if there's anything else on the scoring updates around the CCBL. Some important games for the standings. This one important, maybe the most important for the Wareham Gatemen. They trail Cotuit in the point system by 2 points. Cotuit 35, Wareham 33.
Well, they're getting some help from the Falmouth Commodores as of now. Hyannis is obviously the team to be watching out for the most, because that's the team that could ultimately knock the Gatemen out of the playoffs, but it doesn't look like Hyannis. I mean, they're only down by 2, but they haven't been able to string too many wins together. Their maximum winning streak is 2 this season, which is what it's at right now.
Zane Collins, first pitch is a breaking ball missing high. Quan, the leadoff hitter for Wareham, showed bunt but pulled it back. 1-0. Top of the 7th at Lowell Park. 4-0 lead for Cotuit. Quan takes strike 1.
That breaking ball from Zane Collins is filthy. Almost a slurve type shape to it, coming in from the inside part of the plate on the lefty batter.
1-1 becomes 2-1 as a fastball misses and Quan scoots out of the way.
Woof woof here at Lowell Park.
2-1, just missing inside. Jeff January, the home plate umpire, not buying the frame.
I've noticed a bit of a trapezoidal strike zone from Jeff January.
3-1, called strike 2.
Narrower on top, a little bit wider on the low part of the plate, also extending down a little bit below the knees for Jeff January today.
3-2 pitch is sent foul down the third base line. One of the photographers will run and grab this baseball. And he throws it into the crowd as he points to a young fan. Photographers here wearing the red polos tonight. Collins 3-2, sent to center on a line, and it will fall right in front of Grayson Genesta. He couldn't do much about it. It froze him up, and Stephen Kwan on for the third time today, and the third time leading off an inning.
He's 3 for 4. I mean, the rest of the lineup just has to come in and, drive this guy in. He's been on there. I mean, of course, he hurt himself in the first, getting picked off, but in the fifth, I mean, the guys behind him just not doing the job. And that's been the theme all night. The Gatemen only have 3 hits.
Kasser is the batter. This one, a breaking pitch outside. He went for the bunt, but couldn't do so.
The leadoff hitter, 3 hits. The 2 through 9 hitter,
no hits.
No hits. Yikes. Stephen Kwan is quote-unquote backpacking.
Kasser chips this one foul in front of the Wareham dugout. Sean Callahan, the first base coach, snags it up. He is backpacking this offense. 3 hits. All singles, no extra base hits tonight.
They need the middle of the order to hop out of the backpack.
1-1 pitch from Kwan is chipped in the infield. Shortstop will flip to second for 1. On to first. They convert the double play. Kasser grounds into the 6-4-3. And now there are 2 outs quickly here in the top of the 7th.
Well, not much you can do about that one. Chopper right to the shortstop. Textbook double play for Chandler Avant, and Mike Roberts back down to the mound.
Mike Roberts on the hill. Coming out to talk to his pitcher, Zane Collins. A 4-0 lead for the Wareham Gatemen, trailing the Cotuit Kettleers. There's a pitching visit going out right now for Mike Roberts, one of his infamous long ones. He comes out of it not making a pitching change.
Well, so that means in 2 pitches, he'll come out and make a pitching change, right?
Probably true. Willie McIver at the plate for the Wareham Gatemen. He is 0 for 3 on the day. He struck out in the first, flew out to left, and flew out to center in the 3rd and 5th innings. Collins delivers the first pitch. 83-mile-an-hour breaking ball. Couldn't catch the top of the zone. 1-0. Second pitch at the at-bat. Taken low as well. 2 balls and no strikes. The scoreboard is not updated here at Lowell Park. Someone's asleep.
There he goes.
There it is. 2-0. Check swing from McIver. Doesn't go around. 3 balls and no strikes.
Nice job by McIver on this count, forcing Collins to throw some strikes.
Wines kicks and deals the 3-0. In for strike 1. So Kasser grounds into the 6-4-3 double play after Kwan leads off with a single. His 3rd time leading off an inning and getting on base. The 3-1. Little chopper going to his right is Collins, and he won't make the throw over to first. Willie McIver using his speed, chugging it down the first base line, and he's on board with a 2-out infield single.
Well, the first hit of the game for someone not named Stephen Kwan for the Wareham Gatemen. And it comes in exactly the way you'd expect it. And look, I was just about right.
Mike Roberts coming out to the mound. We'll see if he makes a pitching change. The whole infield is in right now. And there will be a pitching change here at Lowell Park. So 2 outs, a runner on first base for the Wareham Gatemen. They still trail it 4-0. We'll take a short break here on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Did you know that Baseball Factory has partnered with the Cape League for the past 17 seasons? Baseball Factory is your resource for top-notch baseball training. With over 600 events nationwide for players age 8 to 18 and over 100,000 college success stories, you too can build your way to greatness with Baseball Factory. Visit baseballfactory.com to learn more.
The 99 Restaurants has 9 real-size entrees for only $9.99. They're big, hearty portions you can count on all day, every day. like their hand-breaded crispy fish tacos with cilantro lime rice. The 99 Restaurants, proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League.
Registration is now open for the 2017 Wareham Gatemen High School Clinics. These programs are run by the Gatemen coaching staff with a focus on exposing high school area players to the college game. To sign up for either the hitting, pitching, or catching camps, visit www.gatemen.org for more information.
Learning at Curry College extends beyond the classroom and is embedded in all that they do. Curry prepares students to engage in successful careers and active citizenship with a global perspective. Explore undergraduate majors, minors, and concentrations, including new majors in accounting, biochemistry, and software development. Online at www.curry.edu.
What's donated here stays here. All the blood that is donated to Cape Cod Healthcare stays on Cape Cod to help the lives of your friends, family, and neighbors. Learn more about donating blood, platelets, or hosting a blood drive at capecodhealth.org/blood center.
Visit Stars Restaurant at Chatham Bars Inn Resort and Spa for a world-class dining experience. A proud member of leading hotels of the world.
Zane Collins is done on the mound. It is Michael Burns taking over for the Cotuit Cavaliers. He will face Jaron Duran.
Burn is one of the best pitchers you will see on the Cape this summer. He threw in the final game of the season for Florida en route to their College World Series victory.
First pitch taken outside for ball one.
And threw in it 1 1/3 innings, gave up 4 hits, struck out a batter, but did not surrender a run to the LSU Tigers, and en route to Florida celebrating out in Omaha.
Runner goes. It's a hit and run. This one hit on to Alexander over at third. A high throw, but nice catch made from Tolia. And that will end the inning. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 1 man left aboard. Still a 4-0 lead for these Cotuit Cavaliers. We are off to the 7th inning stretch, presented by Eastern Propane and Oil, proud to sponsor the Gatemen with locations on and off the Cape. You're listening to Wareham Gatemen Baseball on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
The Wareham Gatemen and the visiting team, the Cape Cod Baseball League, and the NCAA promote good sportsmanship by student athletes, coaches, and spectators. We request your cooperation and positive support of the participants and officials. Profanity, racial or sexist comments, or other intimidating actions directed at officials, student athletes, coaches, or team representatives will not be tolerated and are grounds for removal from this ballpark.
Want to hear more about today's game, players, and breaking sports updates? Then download the free Next Radio app from the Google Play Store and tune to this station. It's live. It's local FM radio wherever you go. The Next Radio app. Get it today. Visit Stars Restaurant at Chatham Bars Inn Resort and Spa for a world-class dining experience. A proud member of leading hotels of the world. Franklin German's night is done with the Gatemen. He follows Britton and Zavalis. Will Neely will follow him out of Tennessee, 5'11", 160 pounds. He's the shortest pitcher on the pitching staff for Wareham. We last saw him back on July 23rd versus the Whitey Red Sox. 2 innings pitched, 1 earned, 2 hits, no walks. Rather, 1 walk and no strikeouts. He'll face Miles Lewis, and he throws a first pitch strike.
Well, what you just said is the key for Will Neely. First pitch strikes. Out of the big Tennessee Volunteer arm.
Big swing and miss from Lewis. Count 1 strike away from striking out Lewis.
That breaking ball is deceiving from Will Neely. You'll see it in this count, or might be the put-away pitch right here.
0-2, it is the put-away pitch. First batter, Will Neely faces. He strikes out Lewis. That strikeout brought to you by the law offices of Lang, Exafaris, and Bullard.
Well, if Will Neely can get a good outing out of himself right here, that'd be great for him. He's struggled so far this season, and
Tolia swings at the first pitch and rockets one foul out of play down the first base line.
He's hoping that he can get more strikes with that breaking ball, and he has been already, and the fastball 92-93 speaks for itself.
0-1, cut on and missed. Quickly, no balls and 2 strikes.
93 on that heater from Will Neely. He's throwing a lot of strikes early on here. That's a good sign for him. Usually the command is the issue.
He strikes out the second batter in a row. He faces Michael Tolia and strikes him out. That strikeout also brought to you by the law offices of Lang, Exafaris, and Bullard.
Well, maybe there's a new candidate for starting role coming up. Two quick strikeouts for Will Neely here out of Tennessee.
Neely faces now Thomas Dillard, who takes ball 1. Neely has led up 3 earned runs in 3 out of his 6 appearances this summer. Second pitch at the at-bats outside. 2 balls and no strikes.
Will Neely just pitched his hat off. I've never seen that before. His hat flew off during his windup, and he has such a fast windup that I'm actually not surprised at all.
2-0 in for strike 1. His hat's also a little bit shifted to the left. Little Fernando Rodney in him.
Such a fast windup.
2-1 pitch. And fooling hitters right now is Neely. Dillard on one knee couldn't connect. So 2 outs, a 4-0 lead for the Kettleers in the bottom of the 7th inning here at Lowell Park. The 2-2 pitch from Neely is connected with and sent out to center field for the base hit. And Neely lost his hat once more. And Sam Corman loves it.
Maybe he needs to downsize his hat. That's what it appears to be for me. I mean, it's pretty funny, honestly.
Luke Alexander is 0 for 2. And he takes a breaking ball for strike 1. Oh and 1 is sent up in the air, in the infield. Duran, the second baseman, will make the catch. And that will end the inning. Will Neely comes in. He strikes out the first 2 batters he sees. And the Kettleers have no runs on 1 hit, no errors. And 1 man left aboard. They still are beating the Wareham Gatemen 4-0. You're listening to Wareham Gatemen Baseball on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Earn a bachelor's or master's degree, complete a certificate, or take a single course through the Division of Continuing Education and Graduate Studies at Curry College. Classes run days, evenings, and weekends in Milton and Plymouth. To learn more about programs in business, criminal justice, education, nursing, and more, visit curry.edu.
The Wareham Gatemen would like to thank Franklin Sports for their sponsorship of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Franklin is yet again proud to be the official batting glove of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Throughout the summer, all 10 Cape League teams are wearing their own custom team batting gloves, courtesy of Franklin Sports. To order your favorite team's design or to create your own, visit franklinsports.com/custom. Enter code CCBL20 for 20% off your purchase. From Cape Cod to the major leagues, only the best hitters in baseball wear Franklin gloves.
This Gatemen offense has struggled all day long. Just 4 hits, 3 by Stephen Kwan, 1 by Willie McIver. No runs as they trail Cotuit 4-0. We head to the 8th. Jacob Toby bringing you the action along with Sam Corman. And Jake Anchia will lead off the inning for the Gatemen, facing Michael Byrne. First pitch taken inside for ball 1. 1-0 is sent foul over our heads behind home plate. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Wow, what a phenomenal catch by the fan back there. I believe he's wearing a Washington State Cougars shirt.
Respect. 1-1 pitch is sent back foul in the same spot behind home plate.
Not so great catch that time by the same group of fans.
Burns 1-2 on the ground, gloved right back to the mound. Byrne flips on a first. How about a quick reaction from your pitcher? 1 gone.
Michael Byrne, one of the most talented pitchers in this Cape Cod League, got here after the national championship, of course, and Florida came away with the win over LSU, and he pitched big-time innings this year for Florida. I mean, when you're asked to go into the game against LSU when your team's up 2-1 in Game 2 of the College World Series, that means that your coach has all the trust in the world in you.
John Topa takes ball 1 inside and low. 1-0. Very talented, Michael Byrne. This pitch is also down and outside. 2 balls and no strikes. Just 4 hits today, Sam Corman, for this Gatemen offense, which has been really struggling as of late after the 5-game winning streak. 2-0 becomes 2-1 on a fastball.
Yeah, I mean, some guys that were hitting well have no longer been hitting well, and that's an issue.
2-1. Sent foul down that first base line and out of play.
Especially an issue when you don't have other guys stepping up. You had Jake Anchia hitting really well during that 5-game winning streak. You had Willie McIver doing his thing. You had Kyle Kasser hitting well. And right now, John Topa, of course, also hitting well. Right now, none of them.
2-2 was close inside. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Last time Wareham was here, 7 hits. They mustered up just 1 run, but it was enough. Burns 3-2 is taken outside for ball 4. A 1-out walk for John Topa. It's his 2nd walk of the day. He's 0 for 2, but with those 2 walks and a stolen base. Now Blake Sable's turn. He's 0 for 3. Flew out to center in the 2nd. Struck out swinging in the 4th. Grounded back to the pitcher in the 6th. Topa now the runner at first base with 1 out here in the 8th inning. Ball 1 thrown to Blake Sable. One 0 pitch is chopped foul inside the box off Sable. 1-1. He'll send it now to Connor Federico real quick.
Hey guys, huge news. The 9-game win streak of the YD Red Sox was snapped tonight by a team with a 9-game losing streak, the Harwich Mariners. The Mariners win 6-5. Also in Bourne, the Braves have tied up the Firebirds, scored 2-2.
1-1 from Byrne. Taken for strike 2. 1 ball and 2 strikes. So that win for Harwich coming after their walk-off loss. Orleans walked it off just last night. They beat Harwich 8-6. Cesar Salazar, the 2-run shot in the bottom of the 11th inning. The 1-2 is cut on and missed. Sable thought he checked his swing, but he's put out by way of the K the 2nd time tonight. He is struck out, 2 gone.
Cesar Salazar, a Pac-12 first-team player this year, really good catcher. Probably one of the best catchers in this Cape League this year. Just didn't make the All-Star game because of how good Mickey Gasper has been, among others, and Salazar.
First pitch to Nate Fosnot, taken outside, 1-0.
certainly one of the better players on that Orleans Firebirds roster. You know, I don't think I saw him in the Kelly Nicholson lineup early this morning. He must have been pinch hit for.
1-0, swung and hit foul off to the right and out of play.
Of course, Kelly Nicholson, the GOAT.
No, he was 2 for 4 that night. Yeah, last night.
Oh, this was last night we're talking
Yes.
about. Okay.
Yep,
I
last
thought
night.
we were talking about tonight.
He is not in the lineup after hitting a walk-off 2-run home run. How do you like that? The 1-1 right back to the pitcher, Byrne, the second time in the inning. That's happened to him, but he flips on to first, and that will be the end of the ball game, as they're going to call it due to darkness. So an 8-inning win for the Cotuit Cavaliers. They beat the Wareham Gatemen 4-0. The Gatemen shut out tonight. The offense was really the problem here for the Wareham Gatemen.
Well, anytime you don't score a run, the offense is clearly the problem. The pitching was actually remarkable tonight. Noah Zavalis, a really tough go for him getting injured with a hamstring injury early in the game. Rough inning for Jordan Britton in relief. Command wasn't there, probably because he came in out of nowhere without any warning because of the injury, and that doesn't help. And then Frank German comes in, does a really nice job for the Gatemen today. So, I mean, you like what you see from the Gatemen bullpen in a deteriorating pitching staff, and then the lineup just was not there. Stephen Kwan has a great day at the leadoff positions, sets the table 3 separate occasions for the Gatemen. Granted, once he got picked off under his own accord, so you know that was a mistake by him. But sets the table twice in the 5th and the 7th for the Gatemen, and they were just unable to capitalize. And you know, when your team has one hit besides the leadoff guy, you're never going to win the ball game. And that was the case tonight. Finally, for the first time since July 9th against YD, the team with more errors wins the game in a Gatemen baseball game.
Wareham, no runs, 4 hits, no errors. That's good to see on the defensive side of things, but still no hits, or rather no runs. Cotuit, 4 runs, 10 hits, 1 error. So the Wareham Gatemen, they fall to the Cotuit Cavaliers by a final score of 4-0. Thank you for listening to this broadcast of Wareham Gatemen Baseball on the Gatemen Baseball Network. The general manager of the Wareham Gatemen is Andy Lang, the producer of today's broadcast. Nick Veronesi, Matt Weaselther, our sideline reporter, Claudia Chikamian. Special thanks to our beat writer, Maddie Feld, and today's host, Connor Federico. The next broadcast of Wareham Gatemen Baseball will be tomorrow as the Gatemen return home to face the Brewster Whitecaps for the final time this season. The game starts at 6:30. Our coverage gets started on YouTube with Gatemen Pregame Live, presented by South Coast Health. So for Sam Corman, I'm Jacob Toby. Thanks for tuning in to this presentation of Wareham Gatemen Baseball on the Gatemen Baseball Network.